Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Here, we gotta look closely where generators are, how it affects our facility, how it affects the indoor facility. When would the Superdome be ready with their turf surface? There's really two options. One, obviously being here, and how are we impacted here potentially with power outages, and then two, in the event that we would want to move or have to move, plan B.
Sean, have you talked, obviously you have players from all over the country, maybe they've never been through this or experienced this. Do you just kind of tell them what to expect, what to do, and how to prepare in some way, just from kind of a human standpoint?
Yeah, look, I met briefly with him after practice and told him that by the time we're back here for the walkthrough again in the PM, we'll have a little bit more information, and at that time, to your point, how we want to handle this, not only as a team, but for the extended members.
Sean, sorry, I got on late. Has anyone asked you if it was Kamara and Ramczyk, were they getting rest days today?
Yeah, Ramczyk was, and then Alvin had a little stomach virus. He'll be fine.
Sean, Drew talked leading up to camp a lot about what he did in the offseason to improve his arm strength, especially to be able to hit, deep balls better. Have you seen, I know it's only been a week, but have you seen any evidence of that yet?
Yeah. There have been a couple instances where it came out. It came out with the rotation you're looking for, and one of the things that he does a great job of every off season is really looking closely at his own game and how he can make subtle adjustments and improvements. And Tom, who he works with, is outstanding relative to the specifics with the throwing motion and creating power and how it's done. obviously, you guys know this, it all starts from the ground through the legs up. And it's not necessarily an arm thing as much as it is a transition and a creating power and leverage with your lower body through the ground and into the throwing motion. But yeah, I have seen a couple good instances that that he's worked on it.
Sean, I saw Ruiz got some. Oh, go ahead, JD.
No, go ahead. That's the same thing.
I saw Ruiz got some snaps at center today. What did you like out of his time there?
Well, we'll look at the film. So I haven't seen it yet, but our plan was to, every second or third day make a flip there. There was a couple snaps today where, that relative to the run game that he can clean up, shotgun snaps, but we'll look at the film and take a peek at it. So we wanted to do that both with he and Eric, and both of them are smart enough and good enough players where they can handle a switch like that, during a couple day stretch.
Hey, Sean, a little bit of an organizational question for you. How much of your success do you kind of attribute to, being in sync with Mickey in the front office for all these years?
Well, look, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think one of the challenges in pro sports, not just football, but pick a sport, is having that functionality, if you will. I've said this before. I think that not picking or looking at any specific team in any sport, but the first step in having a chance to be successful, and we know it's difficult to do that, is being able to functionally operate and lead the correct way, and that starts with our owner, president, our general manager, our head coach. Those functions and or those dysfunctions can really
to make the cadence sound exact. And what's that process like, just for them to get on the same?
Well, it is important, and the process is pretty simple. It's right now the other two sound like Drew, and then when he leaves someday, it's going to be the others sound like whoever the starter is, because there are some nuances. There are a lot of similarities around the league relative to how a cadence is delivered, but the specifics regarding the voice and the inflection and the timing can vary some. So the very early meetings in training camp or mini camp or OTAs, we'll have everyone in a room, and Drew will give the cadence, and then we'll clap on the get off, and then all of a sudden Taysom, then Jameis, and when you're not hearing the claps in sync and there's maybe a discrepancy there, you know that's something that you have to clean up. So I do think it's important. I do think it's the first advantage an offense has, is understanding when the play starts, and the defense does not have that necessarily. And so I think that it's trying to very quickly sound like how Drew's delivering the cadence from a timing standpoint, not necessarily the strength of your voice, but the timing of it.
Sean, I would assume you saw some of the qualities in Malcolm Jenkins at a young age, because he was a captain so early and he was doing a lot of community things off the field so early. Are you not surprised at what a visible sort of activist he's become, and how much do you value just the makeup of his character and that kind of stuff he's doing even off the field?
Yeah, all of the above. From the day we drafted him and he came in here as a rookie and played in the nickel, you saw toughness, grit. He's a tremendous worker, tireless guy that would study the tape. Long after everyone was gone, he'd be in the defensive back room watching film. And so when you combine his leadership, his work ethic, and then his skill set, because he's an extremely talented athlete, you end up getting a player who's played as long as he has and had the success that he's had. So yeah, I'm glad he's back in our building, and he'll be important to our success.
What's happening, family? How y'all doing today in the live stream, coming at you on this late edition of the Sports Coma? Who dat to the Black and Gold Beautiful in the building. Much love to the family members chiming in this edition. This late edition of the Sports Coma. Who dat to the Black and Gold family members. Like I said, man, you know, we coming at you. Today was like a family day for me. Had a lot to do, you know, as usually I usually do. But I like to give a big hoot at to the black and gold family members staying with us late. Oh man. But anyway, I promised the show. I said, man, I got to get the family a show. I can't lapse on it. We're gonna come in and share some of the latest news and notes of the day with the beautiful black and gold family members and talk to them about the happenings that happened in camp today, despite the fact that a tropical storm is bearing down on us. You know, we're gonna still keep it. Let's see where we are here. Here we go. Yeah, a tropical storm bearing down on us. Tropical storm Marco, as you could tell, is the latest weather report signing in on it, and that's where it stands currently. So I mean, of course, a lot of family members, you know, are have been, you know, are free tomorrow because of the storm. A lot of people not going to work, so perhaps I could bring some type of solstice to the family, some type of comfort. Talk about the Saints later on in this day. Perhaps this thing will go away, but it's kind of messed up saying you don't want it to come this way, and it's got to go somewhere. You don't want it to come here being there. We didn't have so many problems with these damn things. It's just a shame. You know, I've often wished that I had my Avengers powers where I could just go out there and just dissipate the damn thing. If I had my firepower like I was supposed to have, I would didn't burn it all up and you had to worry about it. Well, anyway, this is the current path of it right now. They're still tracking the thing, you know, and this is one of the latest reports that are, you know, that it's not too old. This report is not too. It's about 3 hours ago. But you can see, family, what the track is right there. So a lot of people know what it is. They've probably been looking at it for a while. So it's still good to know that that we're going to come in with some stuff today. And I'm just glad to be with y'all today and hopefully provide some level of comfort and talk about the Saints today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Of course, I'm Big Q. This is TSC live coming at you at night. Late night special coming at you. Special surprise stream. And we good, man. We know we played a little bit of Sean Payton. I'm going to play an interview. We have a few more guys dialed up. We have Latavius Murray. We're going to hear from him today. And a couple other interviews. We're going to go over the camp observations as well. If you have any questions or comments in the chat, I'll go over those before I exhaust the chat. So I'll come in about an hour and a half show, maybe a 2-hour show tonight. We'll, you know, give it in the late night show for the family members. I know a lot of people can't chime in because they're sleeping. You know, some people have to go to work. I can imagine some people do have to work and others more than likely won't. So you know how it usually is with these things. So without further ado, family, I'm going to keep it rolling. I'm going to get into our second interview with Zach Bowen. We're going to have Zach Bowen to chime in with his thoughts on camp thus far. And man, Zach Bowen, with Nigel Bradham being there, it's definitely, the Saints could be looking for a little something different from Zach Bowen. Let's listen to him.
I came in, and when we were hearing about that, me and my fiance were going out to the grocery store, grabbing all the canned goods we could, and then we got home, and it was really just like it rained. So definitely preparing and just play everything by ear.
Next question from Amos Morale. Amos?
Hey, just question in general, how do you feel this first training camp for you is working out? And I know obviously with the COVID restrictions and the testing, it might be a little different, but how has it been for you?
Yeah, as far as the COVID situation, to be honest, I don't know how a normal training camp would have gone because it's my first year, obviously, and I'm just trying to take advantage of the moment, whether there's a pandemic going on or not. I'm going to give my best and work around all those obstacles that may get in the way, but they have a pretty flawless operation here, and you just come in the morning, get tested, and go about your day.
Next question from Amy Just. Amy?
Yeah, you've been getting some reps with the ones. What has that experience been like, you know, playing next to DeMario in practice?
Yeah, the first walkthrough was really the only time that I in my life that I felt like in my heart, oh my God, I got these guys all around me, all these great players. And I was really just thrown right into the fire and forced to get used to the transition. And there's been a lot of them, but definitely taking advantage of all the opportunities, running with the ones, and any rep I get.
Next question is from Nick Underhill. Nick?
Yeah, Zach, what's been the biggest difference just playing off the ball more and seeing the field from that angle and just the processing and reacting to things? How do you feel like, that's going? Do you feel like you're still thinking about things, or is it, clicking pretty quick?
Yeah, when I was in college, I was all on the ball, really seeing through my man on one side. And really, if you play on the ball, you got a 50-50 shot if the run's coming to you or away from you, and just a few number of drop angles, whether it's a curl flat or whatever it was. It was very, very not as much compared to stacking off the ball. You really got to open up your vision and see the full picture. Still getting used to that, and but each day I'm getting better and I'm getting more comfortable.
Next question is from Jeff Duncan. Jeff?
Yeah, Zach, exactly. Can you kind of give us a little insight into exactly where you're being used right now? Are you strictly staying off the ball linebacker? Are you also working in at the edge as well?
Yeah, I'm working a lot of Sam in the regular downs, and then when we go to more of our nickel stuff, I hop in and take Mike reps off the ball. So doing a mix of both right now.
Next question from Amy Just.
Yeah, in playing in different spots, what has been one of the bigger adjustments that you've had to make personally in coming from college to pros?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, just expanding your vision. You really have to have big eyes because at the line of scrimmage, it's easy to see a guy coming right at you. But when you stack off the ball and things are crisscrossing and doing all sorts of things, you have to be able to diagnose what's going on and where the ball is at all times.
Next question is from Caroline Gonzalez.
Hey, Zach. Has there been any player either in the linebacker core or just on the defense in general that's kind of taken you under their wing or given you more advice than maybe other players?
Yeah, we're lucky enough in the linebacker room that we have a lot of veteran guys and a lot of guys that are not only have that experience but are willing, very, very willing to help the young guys along. There's a big gap between the older guys and the younger guys in our room, and we're trying to bridge that gap as best as we can. And Craig's doing a great job. Demario Davis, of course, and then Kiko and Alex as well are all doing a fantastic job getting us all up to speed and used to the pace of the game.
That's Zach Bowen family chiming in on his thoughts on camp, the experience going through the hurricane and whatnot. And to be honest with you, man, as a resident from now here, born and raised, we've been through I don't know how many of these things, man. And it never really, you really kind of, I don't know, won't get used to it. But, I mean, it's just some seasons are more active than others. And sometimes you get one coming right at you. Sometimes maybe 1 to 2, you get those special years. And it's just you get those breaks, So just everybody be safe out there. We're going to keep moving. That was Zach Bowen chiming in with his thoughts in a moment. I'm going to tune up Latavius Murray. Also, just to let the family members know, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you aren't a subscriber to the Great Saint Think Tank, also known as the Sports Coma, where we are serious and passionate, dedicated black and gold family members here. Absolutely serious about the Saints and talking about the Saints. And obviously, we don't care what time of the day it is. Obviously, we don't give a damn throughout the clock, right? But anyway, into this episode, we'll finish. I got one more interview I got with Latavius Murray chiming in. We also going to go over the day 6 camp signings as well. And, and we'll be fine with that as well. So without further ado, we'll get back into to Latavius for our final interview, and I'll come back with some more news and notes to go over with you guys. So without further ado, we're going to tune up Latavius Murray and see what old Latavius got to say about his time coming in. Hopefully he threatened Sean Payton and told him on some Adrian Peterson stuff, give me the damn ball and let me run the ball. Don't you understand? I'm Latavius Murray. I'm averaging 5 yards a carry. This kid here's Latavius Murray family.
And we'll begin. Our first question is going to be from Luke Johnson.
Hey, Latavius, I saw this offseason you went and got your graduate degree from Syracuse, I believe. Just can you kind of tell us why that was important to you, what your degree was in, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I got my master's in business administration. It was important to me because I think just some years ago, going through an injury back in Oakland, I kind of got to thinking about kind of life after football and what that looked like for me. And I kind of realized at that time I didn't know. I kind of still trying to figure that part out, but obviously I'm still playing. So, but just allowed me to think about my career after football and being able to educate myself through the NFL reimbursement program, and so I decided to go back to school. I chose Syracuse since it's where I grew up back home, and it's just been a few years of kind of taking some classes in the off season. Started that in 17, and now here in 2020 I was able to finish. So definitely I'm glad I got that out of the way, and definitely glad that I was able to experience all that and meet the people that I've met.
Next question from Caroline Gonzalez.
Hey, Latavius, sorry the Pelicans didn't bring you inside that Orlando bubble. Sorry to see that. But second year with the Saints, how much more comfortable do you feel in this offense after spending an entire season with the team?
I feel real comfortable. I think I even feel it this off season. Just another year of hearing the same plays, the same calls, and just being in the locker room and on the field with the same group of guys, the core guys. So it feels good. Allows me to go out there and play faster, and again, I think I just need to continue to stack the days and continue to go out there with the mentality to improve every day. And as long as I do that, I think I'll be pleased with what I go out there and put on film.
Thank you.
Next question is from Amos Morale.
Yeah, Latavius, what have you noticed from the offensive line? Obviously, a pretty big new piece in the rookie Cesar Ruiz, but what have you noticed from kind of how they're building chemistry and how that's affecting you from your position?
Yeah, I think they've been doing a great job. I think even all the young guys that's come in have came in and competed at a real high level, and I think with time and with reps, they're going to continue to gel and mesh. But I think we've gotten off to a really good start and done some really good things. So I'm just excited to kind of continue to work. And obviously we'll get a few guys back out there. But right now where we're at, I'm loving it. And on that, I got to shout out my boy T-Stat. Make sure y'all go listen. That BOA and that My Zone on iTunes, Apple Music. Let's go.
All right, that's Latavius Murray, man, chiming in with his thoughts on camp so far. Really looking forward to see what Latavius Murray could do, family, to be honest with you, heading to this new year. Of course, it's a new renaissance in and so far as looking at Sean Payton running the football. We had a pretty effective show yesterday, over 4 hours of passionate Saint talk. I appreciate the beautiful Black and Gold family members for doing that, man, for chiming in as well with that show yesterday. It was pretty fun. So I wanted to come back, and we don't usually do shows on Sundays, but I decided to do one for the family members. We got the storm stuff around us. A lot of people who probably could use the show right now. So I like to first give a shout out to the family in the chat. GM Kev, who that to you? Iceman, good to see you. Ray Long, who that to you? Brother Jerry, Poirier, good to see you, family. Who that to you? Troy Thompson, what up, Troy? Thank you, fam. Kenneth Sutton, who that to you? Javier, good to see you as well, my brother. Who else we got? Iceman says, I think it's disconcerting that Sean is playing these players at least 100% the playing with people life in their careers, which is absolutely uncivilized. Okay, Iceman, going in on them late. Jim Kiffs, I expect this week some more free agents will be signed. All that talent, we're not trying to get any of it. Yeah, I'll go over a few people we talked about, man. Matter of fact, one in particular that landed, and we could have got him too, but, we'll talk about it. Jim Kiffs, SC Spectrum, fixed that internet queue. No, they really didn't do a damn thing, Jim Kev. All I did was turn the damn thing off for like a couple hours. And I think if you have an internet problems as well, just turn it off. You know, it runs all the time. Even when we're not using it. So when you go to sleep, unplug it. Unplug it, plug the modem, both of them, unplug them. And then when you wake up in the morning, plug them back up. You know, give them a chance to be turned off. It's like the phone. You know, we don't think about it because we're busy and go about our day. But those things run all the time. Could you imagine? You know, even we don't do that. You know, sometimes we need time to go off. So, you know, that's just something to think about as well. So thank you for asking about that. Trail, good to see your family. Says, I'm dreaming. Is this live? No, we live, Trail. We in the building, baby. Thank you for joining us. All right, Ryan Duberty. Who that to you, Ryan? Good to see you. Says, who that's hanging, man. We all up all night, baby. That's right, Ryan. Appreciate you joining us, family. Who that to you? Please subscribe if you're on a subscriber. Harvey said, if Coach don't run this guy, we're gonna lose. He's gonna lose his degree sooner or later. He's gonna use his degree. That's right. Thank you, Javier. And John Thompson, who that to you as well. Tragic 504 DWF in the building, straight from New Orleans. Good to see the family members. Thank you. He said I had to leave during the simulation, and now it's blocked. Who won? I think the simulation is old. It should be up there. I mean, I think it is up there. But yeah, let me see how it's running. It's running according to what I'm looking at. I just peeked at it. But you don't want to know, brother, who won. You don't want to know. I was doing something else and I stepped away and I went and looked a few minutes later and I was like, sheesh, the Saints up. Then I went back a few more minutes. I was like, wow. It was just a disaster, man, of epic proportions. So, all right, let's keep it going, man. Who that to the rest of the family members chiming in as well. So thank you. Please hit the like button. As we'll then go into the next layer is we'll kind of look at and go over the camp day observations, day 6 observations of camp as I share my screen. So please hit the like button, family, as we go. All right, here we go. Saints day observation, Cesar Ruiz. All that stuff we talked, man, about Cesar Ruiz. And guess what? Guess what happened? Cesar Ruiz made his debut at the center position. I was just wondering why, man. Why so long? You know, why not stick him in there day one? But you never know. Tack Robertson, who that to you, Tack? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, family. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Please hit the like button and the notification button because we some serious who that's. And we talk, it don't matter what time of day it is, we talking Saints. All right, let's get into the article. A few notable New Orleans players were either given a day off entirely or spent practice mostly watching the sidelines, giving a few others a chance to shine during the 2-hour Sunday practice at the indoor facility. Sunday was marked by the debut of certain rookie at the position. We have not seen him yet, and here's some of the more on that observation, plus everything else that they saw at Saints in the 6th practice. Okay, the participation report says that neither Kamara, who was out with a stomach illness, or Ryan Ramczyk, who had rest, were at practice Sunday. And though quarterback Breeze and linebacker DeMario were present on the practice field, neither participated after stretching with the teammates. Breeze took practice wearing a baseball cap, but remained engaged following play calls and appeared to chat about the plays after the conclusion with Coach Joe Lombardi. Of course, he's the QB coach. Left guard Andrews Pete had a thumb issue while he couldn't make it. Linebacker Anthony Chiquillo, who just I don't know what's going on with Chiquillo, but he's missed all of the practices. So I don't know what that's about. Defensive tackle Shai Tuttle also missed his 4th practice. Johnson Batamosi, who's been, since he got marked up from the PUP list, has been a no-show and absent again as well. Quarterback Taysom Hill returned after him and his wife Emily had their first child, Bo Nixon Hill. He missed the previous 2 practices, and that's understandable. And then after missing Saturday's practice, defensive back Keith Washington also returned to the field Sunday. He had a nice showing as well. Tight end Josh Hill was limited in camp as well. But, you know, like I said, family, a lot of stuff that goes on, man. With the camp, a lot of these guys, half the time, man, you got to look at it. They really try to make it, as he's showing you footage right here, Coach Payton and some of what it looks like from the indoor facility here. Or some of the footage right there. Jameis Winston taking snaps right there. You know, a little in drills, getting the ball out as fast as he can. You see Drew right there helping out. And there's Bite just moving and doing their thing. There's Alex Anzalone. Bradham. And that's number 55. That's, of course, Ellis. 46, I guess that's 46 is I want to say that's Batchy. I'm gonna have to look that number up. But that's double nickel. 5-5 is Caden Ellis. Yeah, I gotta say that's Joe Bessie there. 46 doing the drills, as you can see. Oh man, but let's keep it going. Ruiz gets a crack at center. And that's something that we talked about, man, about Cesar Ruiz. We wanted to see what he looked like. And as you can see right here, this is some of the footage right here, Cesar Ruiz. In a couple of the exercises him doing. And a lot of people were excited about Ruiz's feet, that he has very fast feet. He's a dancing bear. And that's, if you look at the footage, that's Adam Troutman right there with the catch, really good with his hands. But that's the crazy thing about it, man, is the fact that you look at a guy like Ruiz, really good feet, technical, strong as well, very fast for a guy his size. But let's see what the report said about Ruiz taking those reps at center. At least it was at his debut during the practice that had been made available to the media and largely appeared to hold his own. The only notable hiccup came when Taysom appeared to have fumbled a snap during a team drill, though it was not clear if it was a problem with the snap or simply Hill dropped it. Ruiz certainly does look the part. He's not especially large, but he's not small either. He has exceptionally quick feet. We knew that from looking at the reports from him. And for a person his size. And, of course, Ruiz a guy that, like I said, if you go back and just look at some of the tape from Cesar Ruiz when he was in college, you know the guy that, he gets the ball to the quarterback and he gets back in his stance if he's pass blocking or if he needs to run block, he just fires off. Every step is not a lazy step. Everything is a jolt move, a fire move. He's decisive, he's quick, and he's mean. He plays with an attitude, but not an attitude where he's out of control or he's, what I'm saying? It's a control anger, a focus, a concentrated control, focus, aggression. And that's what Cesar Ruiz has. And he's a professional, man. I'm telling you. The next step for Ruiz is getting to work with Breeze and establish some field there, but getting work at center Sunday and possibly the days to come does not signal any sure thing about where he'll play week one when week one rolls around. Both Ruiz and McCoy are smart enough and good enough players where they can handle a switch like that during a couple day stretch, said Coach Payton. With Ruiz at center, McCoy played right guard. Sunday, Nick Easton continued filling in for Pete at left guard, and offseason addition Hurst filled in for Ramczyk at the right guard position. Now, an extended look at the QB. Now, just to talk about that, because a lot of that was the focus, is why Cesar Ruiz not played. He was a first-round draft pick. Why is he not playing the center position? That's almost like what happened with Davenport. Let's say you draft Davenport and then put him at the defensive tackle. And people are like, Sean, why is he playing defensive tackle when you drafted to be defensive end? Well, right now, being at the confines of time, we want to play him at defensive tackle that we feel comfortable with shifting him in the end. People say, that don't sound right, Q. But it's basic. It's pretty much the same thing. Ruiz was drafted with the first-round draft pick to be a center, but he played guard for whatever reason. The coach and the staff obviously felt that, they wanted to look at McCoy for whatever reason, even though I know what he's going to do. If you look at the footage of the better center prospect is Ruiz. If you compare the two, and I'm saying over the long-term duration of their careers, McCoy he's built like a guard. He's a smart guy, don't get me wrong, but you can see that he is built for the guard. His body size, his speed, he would make a fantastic guard. Because I'm looking at his body type. I know McCoy can do it. I know he played the center position before, but it's a difference when you look at Ruiz and what he can do. So hopefully, he could be able to do that. But the fumble snap between him and Taysom, that's to be expected when you have a new center in there. They got to get that cadence down, that rhythm, that synergy between the center and the quarterback together. Now, they're doing it with Taysom. Of course, Ruiz will have to get a lot of time with Drew Brees in there to establish that, because if you go back in your Saints brain last year, it was the same thing that happened with McCoy and Brees, where they had several fumbles between the two in practice, and they kept working on it till they got it. Expect Drew to do the same thing with Cesar Ruiz. Expect him to do the same thing with him. Both in there. Let's go back to the report. Ruiz at center, McCoy can play at the right guard position. And I like that. I really like that rotation. If you got Cesar where he belongs at the center position, and I know it's a lot of responsibility, but when you become a first-round draft pick, you're ready for the responsibility. To be taken as a first-round pick, you're perceived as a person that can do things that the rest of your brethren or sisterin could not do. That's why you were taken so high. You were seen as above the rest of these guys. You were seen as a guy that's capable of doing it. So I would have this high degree. I will stamp you and bless you with this degree of being a first rounder when they can only have 30-odd guys that'll have that accomplishment through the entire summation of this past draft. There were only 30-odd guys that could be blessed with the label first-round draft pick. So in essence, out of the 1,000 players that come through the NFL, that's something like an honor for a team to do that. So if that's the case, they've seen a lot in Ruiz, and Ruiz should be able to prove what he can do, and I'll be paying a lot of attention. Okay, let's look at the next phase of it, extended QB look. With Breeze watching from the rear of the formation, the keys to the Saints' first-team offense will put in the hands of Taysom Hill. And if we're honest, the timing probably wasn't great from Hill's perspective. I'm sure the last 48 hours, he was in a tailspin, let me tell you. Hill didn't look especially sharp in running the top offense Sunday. I'm guaranteed he wasn't sleeping that much either. Contemplating about half his passes, missing a chance on a few big plays off targets. But after a daunting practice and he gets some rest, he'll be fine. This, of course, is a small sample size, and making throws is only a part of Hill's game, and he probably has other things on his mind. Peyton acknowledges Hill probably would not enjoy going back through Sunday's practice footage. Quote, I told him today, listen, you're practicing a little bit like you delivered the baby, but it was your wife. Peyton, boy, he got a mouth on him. He says, so there'll be some film for him to clean up some things, but it was good to have him back out there, end quote. It should be noted that it wasn't an outright bad day for Taysom. His last throw in full team practice was a perfect pass, perfectly placed touchdown pass to Adam Troutman, and he concluded his practice by converting the two-point conversion with a pass in traffic to rookie receiver Marquez Callaway. And, of course, then in came Jameis Winston, who had another strong day Sunday. He is clearly not afraid to cut it loose, which has gotten him into trouble at times. But Sunday he showed some exciting glimpses of what he can do. He turned in the play of the day when he launched the pass roughly 50 yards downfield to a streaking Benny Fowler, hitting him in stride for a huge gain. 2 plays prior to that, he stepped up in the pocket and rifled a pass to an in-breaking Callaway, who caught the ball and raced upfield for a big gain. Winston also showed off his mobility and creativeness in the pocket, buying time to make a play. He clearly lost weight this offseason, and as a result appears to be a nimble player. He used his feet to create time off schedule touchdown throws to Juwan Johnson in the back of the end zone late in practice, and Winston also scrambled for a few nice gains as well. Now, his aggressiveness did backfire at least one occasion when he tried to drop a ball in the pocket to Deontay Harris in the corner of the end zone, only to see Patrick Robertson intercepted during a 7-on-7 drill. Now, a little land yap on top of that is Will Lutz appeared to connect on the 5 of 6 field goal attempts, including one close out of the drill from 57 yards out. Good to see Will kicking at a high level once again. We'll say appeared to connect because the media's viewing angle was not decisive whether Lutz pushed it second to last attempt wide right for 43 or sneaked it in the right. It's still up for debate. Harris might be a problem for opposing defenses this year. He showed a savviness and patience doing one route combination Sunday when he waited until he saw his defender commit to one side of the rub route to make the break on his own route near the end zone. The defender broke inside. Harris quickly cut outside to catch a wide open touchdown. Davenport made several plays in the run support Sunday, a few which got defensive line Ryan Nielsen fired up. One of Davenport's final plays included him shooting inside to blow up a run play at a 2-point conversion, literally ending with Davenport carrying Ty Montgomery well into the backfield. Players are not allowed to tackle to the ground. Second-year safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the artist formerly known as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, now CD Deuce, might challenge Cam for the high-energy throne. He was always communicating with his defensive teammates or talking good-natured trash to his offensive teammates. He can back it up, too. He had a nice play to break up a pass intended to Jared Cook on Sunday. Next, the Saints are back in their 7th full practice on Monday. So we got another practice going down on Monday. And, of course, we'll be in the building Monday night, but on time to cover it. Okay, going to some more news, and this is coming from the Saints wide. Ty Montgomery and Preston running back wide receiver coaches at the Saints training camp. Now, of course, we knew this was going to be happening because he fits perfectly well with what the Saints are doing. Say it may be this skirt the NFL's top strict rules on jersey numbers They get away with him wearing 88. Ty Montgomery doesn't play wide receiver for the Saints. He's in every inch a running back, even if the Saints coaching staff is open to trying him out at the variety of alignments based on what Montgomery coaches saw. Extremely good player, says Curtis Johnson, who's the Saints receiver coach. He's been spending most of the time in the running back room. I love what I see. He has great hands. He can run real well. He's a catch and run guy, extremely good balance, great vision. He runs routes that let you know he's a receiver also. Johnson added that he's devoting as much time as he can to coaching up Montgomery, he's only allowed so much. At the end of the day, most of Montgomery's time is spent working alongside the running backs. Saints running back coach Joel Thomas is eager to work with him, saying, as a runner, I see him as a piece of putty that hasn't had a lot of experience. Even though he's listed as a running back, he's been moved around from room to room as a running back, wide receiver. He may be a scat back. In his career, Montgomery has appeared in 62 games, including the playoffs, but only amassed 2,185 total yards from scrimmage, an average of just about 35.2 yards per game. Depending on your perspective, that could mean that Montgomery has plenty of untapped potential, or that he hasn't played well enough at either role to earn a heavier workload with the previous two teams. But Thomas can be counted among the optimists on this tone. He pushed back against the notion that Montgomery may be just a gadget player, limited to screen sweeps and other one-dimensional plays. He's seen the veteran make the right decisions as a runner. The guy is just a balanced football. He's a football player, in my opinion. He can play in either positions. And his skill set can be fluctuated between running back and wide receiver, especially in the slot wide receiver. He has really good speed, too. He's pretty fast, not burning you up, but he can get away from you. And plus, he can kick return and punt return. Very tough, smart football player that will fit well in this positionless football mindset of team. So he says, while Montgomery's path towards making the team will be focused on how well he plays the conventional running back position, coaches at both spots feel like he has the juice to add an element to the Saints offense. While he still has weeks of work ahead to claim the 53-spot roster, it's hard not to be excited by these early reviews. And we knew this would be the case because when Ty Montgomery came in here, we knew what kind of skill set he had when he was with teams like the Jets and preferably in Green Bay when they seen him use them a lot too. The guy they consider him a running back. I see him like a wide receiver, a tough one. He's a tweener guy that can do a little bit of everything. The perfect player for the Saints. And no doubt about it, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to occupy. He's currently at the third running back position. And that's where Dwayne Washington used to sit. And if the Saints decide to keep three, Washington is on the outside looking in. This guy is definitely going to make the team, barring injury. He has the experience over Washington at the third position. He has the experience. He's more versatile, and he plays in the positions where the Saints need the most help. Running back, wide receiver, and special teams, kick return, punt return. Ty Montgomery is a player, and this was a really good signing by the Saints. They need a lot, and I've given them a lot of credit because that was fantastic. Little other news for the family members to know that Cardinals signed Dre Kirkpatrick. We've been after Dre Kirkpatrick for some time. For the Saints to sign, of course, they had a flirtation with him some time ago, but never looked into signing him. But guess what? Arizona didn't have a problem. They signed Dre Kirkpatrick to a one-year deal, and this former first-round draft pick, according to the report, he could start for Carroll. He can come in and occupy a starting position for the Arizona Cardinals. You know, and I say this, of course, this is not a Saint-related matter, but this is one of the guys I was really hoping the Saints reach out and get. You know, and he was still available, man, and he's not available no more. The monetary amounts of money wasn't mentioned of how much they signed Kirkpatrick to, but they're saying that this guy could really come in and challenge for a starting position. Not to mention the Cardinals did bring in also Ken Crawley. They brought in Ken Crawley and another Saints player that I forgot in a previous report. But, you know, Dre Kirkpatrick is off the thing, and the Saints are in the need of a cornerback, and they are looking at several undrafted guys who currently, to me, I just don't think, you know, some of these guys that they have are, you know, you would be somebody you would consider looking at or somebody you might want to do. That's just my take on it, you know. But anyway, like I said, Kirkpatrick's off the bench, and then, of course, the last 10, this is the top 10 free agents still available, pass rusher top list and signed veterans. And this report, Dre is off the board. He's going. Arizona signed him, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. And then you got guys right here like Devontae Freeman, who we've hearing various reports that the Eagles are looking at Freeman. And then there's a guy like this guy that we talked about, Clay Matthews. Until recently, the Seahawks were floated as a potential landing spot. Matthews was a forgotten soldier in free agency at 34. He's certainly nowhere close to his perennial Pro Bowler days, but he was with Green Bay. But as a pure pass rusher, he's got plenty left in the tank, fresh off an 8-sack season with the Rams as a third down specialist. Why not, Saints? Why not? Now, potential fits, they say the Colts, Chiefs, Giants, Patriots, and Seahawks. Etch the Saints in there because Clay's not going to command a lot of money. Then, of course, Mike Daniels is there as well. And I'm not sure, he's a defensive lineman. There's Josh Gordon. Eric Reed is on this list if we have issues at safety. I know, you got the guy from Baltimore there. But Eric Reed to me is a guy that, former LSU guy, would love to see him in a Saints uniform. Antonio Brown, which I think later on in the season we'll get somebody to come in here. And, he has that 10-game absence. He is like a 10-game, what was it? Once the NFL wraps up his investigation, I think what was the punishment? He had some type of punishment they levied on him. As soon as this punishment is up, you can see teams taking a shot at Antonio Brown sooner or later. So I know he's talking about he's going to retire, but trust me, that all goes out the window. Then, of course, Logan Ryan is there holding out for $10 million a year as a safety, wants to play a safety. This guy's one of the top 100 players in the league. Somebody's going to call him as well. And then you see Jadeveon Clowney sitting up there, who's still looking for it as well, the potential team, Seahawks, Titans, and Raiders. And then there's a report that came out that the Raiders are really pushing to land Jadeveon Clowney. They really want him out there. The Titans are interested in him too. So it's starting to pick up for Jadeveon Clowney. It really is. The Seahawks, Titans, and the Raiders are really picking up. And, of course, this is an outdated report because Everson Griffin signed with the Cowboys and is no longer on this list. So just to let a few of the family know as well. So, few things, man. That's a few things as well. But, yeah, no doubt about it, Drake Kirkpatrick is off the list, family. So a lot of people were kind of saying, man, Drake Kirkpatrick could help the Saints. They could help the team. And guess what? He's not there anymore. Drake Kirkpatrick is off the list. So who that to the Black and Gold family members? Glad to see y'all up with me late. It's currently 12:39. Good to see the Who Dat Nation in the building as well. Much love to you and Yearns. And big ups to the rest of the family members chiming in this one. As I'm going to just phase into the chat. And any question, concern, please hit the chat up and let me know. Okay, let's keep going here. Kevin says, why didn't we give Kirkpatrick a call, bro? And then you're going to see. The money's not the issue with these guys. I'm telling you, the money's not the issue. It's simply not the issue. Kirkpatrick, when it comes out, he probably will sign a cheap deal to be there. And you're going to see. And the Saints are looking for cornerbacks. They had two guys. The report I was reading today, I was like, who the hell are these guys? And I'm trying to figure out, why are you doing this? Why you got guys like Drake Kirkpatrick out there and you talking to two guys who nobody don't even know. And the two guys' names are Christopher Frederick and Kaman Hall. I don't know who those guys are. But you mean to tell me those guys are who you would rather want to bring on your team as opposed to a guy like a former first-round draft pick, Kirkpatrick, or Mo Claiborne, or Aqib Talib, or any of these guys? You're going to go with Christopher Frederick and Keeman Hall? I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Both of them 5'11". They're both under 200 pounds. They roughly inexperienced guys. They have some collegiate stats there. One of them was on the practice squad, and it just I don't know. To me, I don't go for that kind of stuff, man. You need these guys are 5'11". You just got rid of a 5'10" guy. You just cut him for the 80-man roster, and Dietrich Nichols. That didn't make any sense. And the thing is, they're drinking the Kool-Aid on P.J. Williams, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid on Patrick Robinson. I can't put it any clearer than that. And we know what these guys are, and they continue to throw these guys out there like they're going to be different players this year. And they always turn into what we knew they all to be. The truth is, you cannot get away from the truth. You cannot get away from the truth. We know the truth about P.J. Williams, and we know the truth about Patrick Robinson. We know the truth about them. these guys will not turn into nothing more than what they've always been, which is inconsistent players. You and I both know that. But if you got Dre Kirkpatrick out there, who's a 6'2" former first-round draft pick, a 6'2" first-round former draft pick defensive back out of the University of Alabama, 6'2", big cornerbacks, big-ass cornerback, which you need in the NFC South. But you got 5'11" guys, and no disrespect to Frederick and Keymon Hall. No disrespect to your family. But the truth is, we need experience there. If something goes down or goes wrong in the secondary, the two people who they're going to go to is Patrick Robinson at the cornerback position. It's Patrick Robinson and P.J. Williams. Patrick Robinson was drafted down here. He was a bust, in my opinion, because you don't draft a guy with a first-round draft pick for him to come in and be a top-notch nickelback. It don't work like that unless you got 3 draft picks. Darren, he fills in as soon as he stepped up. He was a bust as far as I'm concerned in terms of with a first-round draft picks when they took him out of Florida State, and Steve Smith used to run and abuse him. Steve Smith used to talk mess to him. He wouldn't talk mess to him back. I'm like, what kind of dude gonna talk to you about what he gonna do? And he did it. That's why he was talking to him, because he ain't want to piss him off. He ain't want to make it even more matter. But the reality of the day, Patrick Robinson never had it in him, and the scouting department was wrong for drafting him. And P.J. Williams, people forget. P.J., what was he, a second-round draft pick? P.J. Williams is the guy the Saints was seen as a starter. He hadn't done any of that. P.J. Williams flopped and failed. Matter of fact, he lost his job to Ken Crawley one year. And he continues to be what he is, even though he's showing out in practice. Say, Q, this dude, P.J. and Patrick Robinson looking good in camp. That's camp, bro. That's camp. And they did that same thing the last 2+ years in camp. Every camp, they do the same thing. The last several camps, the defense came out the door. So pardon me if I'm not getting all excited about that. I can't quite share your intensity and your passion about that guy. It's hard for me to get excited about a movie that I've seen 700 times already. I mean, come on. Q, we about to watch the movie. Man, I've seen that movie 700 times, bro. I've known the movie. I can even rewrite the movie. I can go quote for quote on the movie. Why am I get excited about something I've seen 700 times? The truth is, you not. So that's why I'm at with P.J. Williams and seeing him for over 4 years that he's been here. And Patrick Robinson, when he left and went to Philly, people didn't know who he was. There was no pressure on him to live up to a first-round draft pick. He came in with none of those expectations. And without those lofty expectations on his back, he didn't have that pressure. He comes back to the place where he was drafted and realized that I thought they might have forgot that I was a first-round draft pick. They still remember. Yeah, we still remember. You was a bust then and you're a bust now. You were getting paid way more money than what you were supposed to be paid. And truth of the matter is the only reason why he's on the team is because he took that pay cut. Had he have not taken that cut, he would have been cut. But P.J. Williams is cheap and inexpensive, and they're used to him, and because of the C-19 stuff, he's here. But that's not stopping teams like Arizona from going and get people like Kirkpatrick, or Dallas getting people like Everson Griffin. They're not letting the C-19 stuff stop them. They looking at their team and saying, listen, we need to improve this secondary. We need to do something about it. So that's what they're doing. Didn't stop the Miami Dolphins from going out and getting Dietrich Nichols and bringing them on their staff. So you can't say C-19 stopping and preventing them when other teams, and it's not stopping anybody else. So come on now. So like I said, I can't get excited about the fact that PJ and the other guys playing well in camp this year. They do it every camp. Then they go into the season and they become inconsistent. They become mediocre. You know, I know the truth about P.J. Williams. You know, I both know that he's not going to get any better than what he's been, since he's been, until he gets serious enough to stop the collapses and his concentration. And I don't know what's wrong with Patrick Robinson. I don't know what's wrong with Patrick Robinson. Patrick Robinson looks like he's looking at stuff, but his reaction skills is off. I don't know if he's comfortable. Sometimes he looks comfortable. Other times he don't. It's just, I don't know what to make of him. But either case, both these men have been playing woefully shy of what their draft status was indicating them to be. So pardon me if I don't share your enthusiasm on P.J. Williams and Patrick Robinson looking good in Saints camp. They do that every year. They do it every year and then go into the season. So let's keep it going there, family. Tack says, who that to you, Tack? Robinson, who that to you? Welcome to the fam. Thank you for joining us. Iceman says, so we're not going to talk about Ruiz getting pushed into Drew Lap in the simulation. Rui's been getting it handed to him the whole simulation season. But the truth of the matter is that despite the loss to the Chiefs today, the Saints are still the top team in the NFC. The 49ers are behind them, followed by the Cowboys and the Vikings, according to our virtual simulation world. So the Saints are 11-3, which is it's not bad at all if you ask me. I think that's actually pretty good. And then of course next week they got a game where they face off against the who's next week? 2 games left. The Minnesota Vikings. Yes, indeed, the Minnesota Vikings are next week, family. How about that? The Minnesota Vikings, and then followed by the Carolina Panthers, and then the virtual season goes into the playoffs. So the Saints will sit as a number 1 seed. And then I'm kind of debating whether or not my son said that I should have all of the playoff teams, simulate the playoff teams over Saturday and Sunday, just simulate them. I'm still debating on whether or not to do that. But that could be fun, to have a simulation weekend of that type of stuff going on, and Saints play the following week or what have you. There'd be 6 games to play. Might be cool. So I contemplate that. We got time for that. But 11-3, man, in the simulation world is not bad. And that puts you on par with what we thought you was going to be, either 12-4, 13-3, or whatever. What are they, 11-3 right now? They got 2 games left. So it is. They lost bad to the Chiefs, but 11 wins is not bad. As long as they beat the Vikings, they can see them Chiefs again in the Super Bowl and get that revenge, just like they did against Atlanta virtually. So, it's all right. All right, let's keep it going, family, in the chat. Good to see the family members chiming in. Kevin says, Iceman, the computers have reads getting handed to every game. But still, no, they still look good in that game. He was blowing holes wide open. It wasn't the offensive line that lost him that game. That was Drew Brees. It was Drew Brees playing bad, playing shitty in the middle game. He caught fire toward the end. But it wasn't Drew that was bad in the virtual game today. It was the defense. The defense let Tyreek Hill have a field day. Tyreek Hill had a field day on him, and they couldn't stop Tyreek Hill. They couldn't quite shut the running game down when they needed to, but Tyreek Hill was the guy. He was the guy that really took the defense apart, and shame on him for that, virtually speaking. But anyway, we'll get him again. Kevin says, I'm here. I'm seeing if the guy will be disrespectful. Many fans come here from different teams. All right, let's keep it going here. Kevin Sutton says, Kenny says, nobody at the moment. We got to get it's our year. All right, Kenny says, I feel pretty good about the team, but I just hope we get the outside corner. It's not a big need, but I'll take it if it's the right fit. Thank you. Abraham, who that to you, Abraham? Good to see your family. Good to see Abraham in the chat. Brandon Comier, good to see you, Brandon. Who that to you, bro? True Louisianimal, who that to you? Mr. Boombastic, who that to you as well. Thank y'all for joining us. Tack Robinson says, if Ty gives us around 400 yards from scrimmage, that'd be great. I said that's a great number right there. And at least about 7, maybe 6 or 7 touchdowns to go with that. That'll be fire too. So, I'm expecting a lot from Ty Montgomery, despite the fact that he's a reserve. He feels a lot of needs. Like if something happens and the Saints need a go-to guy, he can step in the slot to help you. He can play in double running back packages. When they won't use 2 running backs, you can put him and Elvin in there. If something happens with Deontay Harris, you can slide him back as a kick return, punt returner. There's a lot of great usages for a guy like Ty Montgomery, who's raring to go. So I'll share your excitement about him. Tramal, who that to you, Tramal? Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to you. Jim Kev says, damn it, we should have signed Kirkpatrick. I guarantee it's going to be cheap too. Jammin', who that to you, Jammin'? Good to see you. Who that, baby? Good to see you in the chat. Tax says, I would like more depth at corner, but Janoris is big. Thank you, bro. All right, for that comment. Okay, let's keep it going, man. To the family members there. Tax says, would love to still have Chapel on the cheap. Who that nation? Who that to you? Says, did the guy really say Apple? The guy who probably couldn't cover a damn. Everybody got different perspectives on Apple, man. But would you take Apple over? I would take Apple over Patrick Robinson any day, bro, to be honest with you. And maybe we just stall for cornerbacks. Kenny Sutton says Mike Daniels signed with the Bengals. Okay, Daniels signed with the Bengals. I thought heard something about Daniels going somewhere. That's a pretty good interior alignment. Darrell Freeman, who that to you, Darrell? Good to see you. Who that nation says, I think we are good at number 2 in Jenkins. Yes. We got the best in my opinion, bro, the best cornerback duo in the league. Marshawn Lattimore saying, motivating and the mindset of making sure everybody lines up against you. You'll visualize the Julio Jones so that he doesn't get bored, and get burned. Well, Janoris Jenkins is going to step up his game, get more acclimated. He's familiar with the system. I'm just big. I played the interview when he was on NFL Network talking about his thoughts on him and Laddie Daddy, but also Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a.k.a. CD Deuce, is another dude that's the nickel back in that situation, but I do have reservations behind those guys, as I've mentioned. Okay, let's keep going. Who That Nation? I don't know why we let Nichols go. I liked him. I watched him in XFL. He was good. I don't get that part of it either. There were other guys you could have released. If you needed to get down to 80 and you needed a guy you couldn't think, just ask me and I would have told you Andrew Dowell. Dowell is not going to make the team. He's the last linebacker buried on the depth chart for Michigan State. Joe Pesci is the favorite. Caden Ellis, guys like that are looking ahead. But you don't know, never know what's going on with Anthony Chiquillo either. So that could have been the reason why he was on the team. Guys like Myro Edwards Jr. that's buried on the depth chart. What are they looking like? Jalen Dalton, the 6'6", 300-pound nose tackle. Does he really, do the Saints seriously think that he can make the team in the interior? And we deep at the interior line. Maybe he could have been released to hold on for somebody that you need in your secondary because you're going to need him. So you never know, man. So hopefully it don't come back to bite us in the butt. That's all I'm saying. Avante, who that to you, Avante? Good to see you in the chat. Why don't the Saints start doing live drills? Okay, Monte. Kevin says, why are the Saints going after these dudes on the street straight out of the homeless shelter? I don't know who they are, bro. I ain't going to lie to you. I don't know who the hell those guys are, man. I'm not going to tell you no wrong. I don't know what they are. DeWright, who that to you? DeWright says, Q, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing James Winston is doing more than just turning heads. He's looking good out there, bro. He's focused. He had a pretty good camp today. And a lot of people ranting the Raven not because of the fact that he came in camp looking really put together, the best shape in his career in a long time. But he's taking it serious. He's preparing like he's trying to win the starting job. So it's almost like they know he mentally, subconsciously, he knows it's Drew's team. But in his mind, he's preparing like he's trying to challenge Drew for that's what I see in him. The way he's out there and is watching the footage and of how he's playing and how he's delivering the ball with pop on it, throwing a deep ball, have all of the guys around him scrambling and doing stuff. It's almost like it was Jameis from Florida State who has that 5 years experience. Remember, he's just like 25 years of age. And he has a live arm. He could throw all the places, but it was this head thing. And he's in a great place right now, you can tell, because his play is translating as such. When he's one of those type of people that they're in a great place in life because they're emotional. You can see that they putting it together on the field. And he's that type of dude, man, where you can see he's married. He had this eye surgery that's helped him see better. He on that vegan diet. He was training all through the summer, getting ready. And then money's not a motivating factor for Jameis. He took a really cheap deal. He fired his agent. He was upset about it. So money's not a factor. He's doing it out of the love of the game and the fact that he's trying to prove people. I don't know if he's trying to prove people wrong, but I most certainly know he's trying to show what he can do and prove himself better than what people perceive him as. And that's why he's here. So, yes, Jameis is looking good, man. He's looking real good, man. And hopefully he keeps this up, bro, because he's definitely winning a lot of people over in camp and out of camp. Let me tell you what, So thank you for the question, my brother. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well out there in Florida. All right, let's keep it moving there as well. Tax says P.J. Williams got dirt on Peyton. He must. He got the pictures that Tommy Lee Lewis used to have. Who That Nation? P.J. has had time to prove himself. He's failed. PJ must have something on Peyton. And everybody's saying that, man. And they're saying, well, they just comfortable with him. You know how many defensive backs that are out there that's better than PJ Williams? I mean, seriously, if you look at the free agent, if you just go look at free agent, listen, I'll pull it up and prove it to you. I could pull it up and prove it to you right goddamn now. Let's put it in. Okay, give me just a second. We'll pull up. I'm going to show you right now. I'm about to pull up a list of free agents. This is from Walter Football. Now, some of these people have already signed. Let me hold on here. Let me go somewhere else because that list looked a little old there. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull up a list of some of the available cornerbacks that's still out there. You know, that's still available. And you guys tell me. Hold on here. Give me just a second. Let me get a better looking one here. Because P.J. Williams, no disrespect to him, I don't think the Saints value him as a cornerback. They're looking more at him as that safety guy. But, you know, truth be told, he don't look all that good, man, in my opinion. Give me just a second, family. We're going to see if we can find it here. All right. Hold on. Just give me just a second here. I'm going to pull it up by position here so I can show the family what I'm talking about, because that's what it comes down to. Sometimes you got to look at things how they is. And I don't know what list the Saints are using, to be honest with you, because it makes no sense to me for the Saints to be looking at these cornerbacks who nobody don't know who the hell these guys are. Nobody. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Where did he come from? You know, and I'm not, poo-pooing their scouting. I'm like, why would you need to go look that far for somebody when you, with the free agency, has the guys that you might need to see? Now, I'm gonna share my screen with the family members here. And this right here shows some of the list of free agent cornerbacks that's available right now. Now, some of these guys, it's probably the list where the Saints got their cornerbacks from. But they have guys out like, look at Tremont Williams. Tremont Williams is out there. He's a little older than he's 37, but guess what? Patrick Robinson, that guy is still better than Patrick Robinson at this age of his career. There's Morris Claiborne, who's 30 years of age right here. Morris Claiborne is better. Akib Talib is right here, 34 years of age. And here go, that's what they're looking. There go the guy they're talking about. There go Kemon Hall right here. This is one of the guys that they were talking about, that they were looking at. Look at Nichols on the list, but Nichols is gone. So, I mean, it just goes to show you. There's Logan Ryan here, Tease Tabor. Remember Tease Tabor, the former, Buccaneer? Trevor Williams, he's another guy that is a pretty decent player. So, that's several interesting, talented. Kayvon Webster's out there. He was with Washington last year. He was a former Saint guy. He was supposed to make the team that year, by the way. But, like I said, man, it's a series of things. There are several players that if you really wanted a player, you wanted somebody, you could have did. Really, truly it is. Look at Brandon Carr, former Baltimore dude that can come in. These guys, most of the guys I'm naming are definitely better than you see Kirkpatrick there. He's off the list. So, who knows, man. I don't know where they're looking for their talent at. But the reality is that there are several talented players out there that's a lot better than either one of those guys, in my opinion. And I just think it's the fact that they're familiar with them that they're going to stick with them. But things could radically change if injuries occur. You know what I mean? Things could definitely change. All right, let's keep going, family. Jamin says, have you heard anything about defensive how he's doing? I think he's up next. Yeah, thank you for that question, Jamin. I think the report mentioned that he was out. They didn't give specifics. Sean Payton doesn't like to do that. Give specifics on certain players. Nothing really pertaining that I've heard, and I've been looking for Shy Tuttle. Like, man, what's going on with Shy? Just like I've been looking for Josh Hill. And they said he got a tweak. He just says he has a tweak. And usually when you said tweak, a muscle tweak, I would think something like a hammy. You know what I'm saying? With Josh Hill. I don't know what's going on with Shy Tuttle. There's no information, unfortunately, about Shy Tuttle, Jamming. But I will let you know, family. Just keep tuning in. We'll find something sooner or later. I appreciate the question. Jamal says Saints do sign scrubs. Yeah, they do sign some scrubs. Now, I ain't going to even tell you no different. They do. Who That Nation says, and don't get me started on Malcolm Jenkins. Yes, he's a step up from Bell, but Jenkins sucks in pass coverage. Did you watch him with the Eagles? He had his problems, no doubt about it. But I don't think, I think what the Saints are counting on Jenkins to do is be more of a brainiac on the back end of the defense, a calming influence to kind of help settle things down. But if you think about it, the Saints are far from settled at the safety position. They really aren't. And if people say, what about Marcus Williams, Q? Listen, Marcus is in the last year of his contract, and the Saints could very well offer Marcus Williams a contract to come back because Dennis Allen's do like the guy a lot. I'm not going to tell you no different. If he steps up this year and performs, they're going to have other teams from other teams that's going to come in and raise the prices up on Marcus Williams. Whether or not he takes it and go there, it'll be a whole nother thing. But I think there are teams that can come in and outbid the Saints for the talents of Marcus Williams. I'm telling you. It'll be whether or not they want to pay him that kind of money to stay here. Now, the thing is, you got Malcolm Jenkins, who probably won't be here past next year. He got a 4-year deal, 2 years. The contract could be eliminated after 2, and then they can move on past Marcus Williams, which I think that's what the Saints will do anyway. The idea is to win Super Bowl in 2 years. This year, Drew comes back next year, and then you see Emmanuel Sanders and Malcolm Jenkins off the list, and the Saints start their youth movement. Well, continue it because they've been really secretly doing the youth movement with the experienced veteran talent that they have to take them into the next 5 to 10 years of professional football. So if you look at the safety position behind Jenkins, who's here on 2 years, Marcus Williams is facing a contract year. Behind him, you have JT Gray, who's not ready for the starter role, Saquon Hampton, who is not ready for the starter role, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson could be used as a safety if you want to keep him there, but you'll lose him as a cornerback. So which is important to you, to have him in the slot or to have a safety plan, a safety position? Sooner or later, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to have to find a home, whether he stays at nickel or if they just buying time till they move him to safety. We'll find that out in the future time. But the safety position is still not settled. You got Swearinger on a 1-year deal, so the Saints could be looking at maybe, safeties next year in the draft. Somebody to be on the back end, a hitter, and somebody that knows what they're looking at on the back end of defense. It could very well happen. Or they can do a thing where they bring Eric Reed up with Swearinger, or a younger safety like a Eric Reed, who can be a bridge guy. So it's several things that the Saints can look at. But like we seen them drafting a center this year, we most certainly didn't see Ruiz coming. I mean, of course, I think JT seen it, but the rest of the family members didn't see Ruiz being picked up and Larry Warford getting shipped out of here. We most certainly didn't see that. And if we did see it, we didn't see it as a first-round draft pick being used. We thought that you would be using it to take a defensive end who you can then put along with Cam Jordan and Davenport. Could y'all imagine that? Having a defensive end who can do that as opposed to the center. But it happened the way it happened. So it is what it is. But, that safety position, that back there, we're going to watch that, man. Next couple of years could be a lot of flux, a lot of changing. Tech says if PJ or Patrick gets singled out against any good receiver, they're getting toasted. You and I both know that, and I agree with you. And that's a shame because they just are poor with technique and so inconsistent. It's maddening to me. It really is. Jim Kev says Clay giving you 8 sacks, didn't finish the season because of the Rams not giving him his money, and he cheap, and we not calling. Well, we got Marcus Hunt question. Yet Marcus Hunt can't hold a stick to it. Marcus Hunt's an enigma to me because you don't seriously think you're going to use Marcus Hunt as a pass rusher, do you? I mean, what is his role here? What is he supposed to be? We don't need interior linemen on this team. We have Shy Tuttle, and even Tuttle having his injury history. Having injuries right now, and he had quite an injury history. That's why he fell. He was one of the top sought-after prospects in college when he went to Tennessee, and injuries derailed him. But the Saints knew the guy was a massive talent and developed him with Ryan Nielsen and the rest of the assistant coaches there in the interior defensive line room. But it's interesting to me that on so many levels that the Saints, you look at them, you still have Malcolm Roach there. Jalen Dalton, there's a lot of talk about him being what he is. And then the top 3 guys like Malcolm Brown, Sheldon Rankins, and David Onyemata sitting at the top of there. Shy Tuttle eventually would become healthy. He'll cycle him in there. Then you got guys like Myra Edwards Jr., and then you throw Marcus Hunt in there, Jalen Dalton, Malcolm Roach, people like that. So the Saints always are going to find interior defensive linemen to help them there. So I'm not really concerned about that. But what is Marcus Hunt's role here? What is he supposed to do? You know, what is he supposed to act as an edge rusher? Because he was a second round draft pick. He's a big guy that knows how to move, but that didn't translate in sacks. You know, you can't, that's not a sacking guy. You want somebody that's going to fire off the edge and cause hell. And maybe that's what Zach Bowens here. But once again, he's a rookie. And we know counting on rookies is not only a good thing when you're trying to get to the Super Bowl. So Clay Matthews would be cheap. The Saints would spend less than $3 million on 1 year for Clay Matthews. You know, it'd be a better deal than what Everson Griffin got in them. But I don't know why they're not, because that's Sean Payton's type of guy. You know, a guy, smart linebacker who he can use, to drop into coverage or a situational role. He'll come cheap. He's a veteran. You don't have to tell him much. That's the perfect signing. And for whatever reason, they're not looking at him or Griffin. I just don't know, man. I can't tell you. They have a flirtation with these guys and then don't go and investigate them. How do you go look at Kirkpatrick, who's a better overall cornerback than a Patrick Robinson or a PJ Williams, and then say, never mind, we good. We're going to keep PJ and this guy. And seriously, to yourself, it's a certain air of delusion here, man, that's going on, because I know those guys, man. I know their play. And you are delusional to think that these guys will really represent big plays for you when they were stinking up the place. And these are not just young players trying to learn it. No, PJ Williams is who he is at this stage of his career, and so is Patrick Robinson. These guys are guys that we took, and they never lived up to that draft status. They were inconsistent. They were maddening, and everybody know PJ Williams get burnt. Do PJ Williams give a damn? PJ Williams don't give a damn when he get burnt. You can tell he don't care. He be out there focused, and then the next moment he looking somewhere else. It's like, I don't want players like that on the team. We need guys that know what they're doing and serious about their work. Not some guy just, having lapses of awareness out on the field. That's not helping nobody. All right, let's keep it going, fam. Let me keep punching through this thing. Ryan Duberty says, I'm with you, Q. If he walk and cluck like a duck. PJ is a duck. That's right. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it, bro. I like that analogy, too. John Thompson says, when is the next cut down? Next cut down is, when is that? Let me pull that up. Let me pull up the calendar here for the next cut down. I think that my Saints family might have that, but that's coming up real soon, though. Let me make sure. I have an idea, but I'm going to make sure, family. I'm going to give you the right date here. I'm going to spill out some misinformation on you. All right. Hold on here. All right. That's September the 4th. September the 4th, according to the Saints Wire. Who asked the question? Was that Randy? Asked the question, when is the cut date? Let me see that. Whoever asked it, I think that was okay, John. I'm sorry, John. John, September the 4th, when all the NFL teams have to get their roster sliced down to 53, is September the 4th, family, just to let you know. Thank you for the question, bro. Who That Nation says, hopefully the defense learns how to tackle this year and defend passes too. I'm with you on that, Who That Nation. I'm with you. Randy says, who do you think will pick up Earl Thomas? Well, reports have Dallas as the team to land him and land him for cheap. He's been trying to get to Dallas since he left Seattle. He took the Baltimore route because Baltimore offered him a little bit more paper. But the smart money has Dallas. They was trying to trade him at first. And then nobody was balking on the trade because they knew they eventually released him. So look for the Cowboys to land him. So you have Earl Thomas you have Earl Thomas there, and he ain't exactly the Earl Thomas of old, but he's still Earl Thomas. You have Earl Thomas back in the state of Texas where he always wanted to be, playing for the Cowboys. And then you'll have him next to Ha Clinton Dix there. Everson Griffin is there as well. So Dallas has done a pretty damn good job of adding to its defensive side of the ball to help them this upcoming season. And don't forget they got Mike Nolan, your former linebackers coach, there as the defensive coordinator. And Holmgren sits over the top of the team as the coach. So the Cowboys, man, added some really good veteran pieces to that defense to give people to work. So, hey, man, Cowboys is definitely who they're looking at, Randy. And to be honest with you, smart money's on Dallas, bro. Tragic says LOL. Travis says, who that, Travis? Travis 504 in the building. Demi, how you doing, Demi? What you doing up late, baby? She says, which is why we can't make it out of the postseason to Super Bowl. Sean loves these types of players who can't go the distance. This is very frustrating. I know it's tired of seeing those guys, you know. I'm tired of seeing P.J. Williams and Patrick Robinson. Why do you bring that guy back here and pay him $5 million a year and then cut it down to $2.5 million? Why you do that? Oh, we think we're gonna do right. He learned the error of his ways. He went to Philadelphia and learned how to be a football coach. No, I mean it makes no sense. You don't need to do that in this. If you got a year or a 2-year window, you don't have time to develop guys into playmakers for you. You need veterans who want to win who are motivated by the fact that they want to win a Super Bowl in a year or two. Who are going to bring that experience over. They're willing to take a cutting pay to come and play with you. You need to use that card, play that card more to attract that talent here. You still got guys like Aqib Talib out there who's better than anything you have behind CD Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or CD Deuce. You can get them for a song. Imagine if the Saints, you woke up tomorrow and the Saints signed Clay Matthews and Aqib Talib. You'd be like, oh man, it will rejuvenate the fan base. Because unlike them, we're not delusional. We know the team. And they'll say, well, them just fans. They don't know the team. They do that all the time. They'll say, oh, they just team. They don't know what's going on in here. You out your mind, man? You don't think we read the reports? Them people don't really realize who you are and what you know until they start listening to you consistently. Then they say, man, this guy know what he's talking about. Them people know what they're talking about. We know this team. You might be on the team for now, but we've been on this team. This been our team long before you even knew who the Saints was. Before you knew what the black and gold was, this been our team. You know, you're just blessed to be on it and getting the support from us. That's how I see it. Because I see us as the shareholders. I don't see them as the owners or the placeholders. Remember, my mindset's I've been flipped my mind on that. I don't think like the rest of a lot of people do. I know where the power resides. The power resides where the money resides. And the people have the money and they have the power. They have to say so. If we don't support you, you die. That's the bottom line. You have no, where you going to get it from? You going to print it? If we forced you to start paying all your bills on the dome and the arena, you would pack up and leave. You like, man, this is too much. But why not? We do it every day, family. Who paying your bills except for you? Who paying your light bill, your water bill, put food in your mouth and all that? You doing it all. You mean to tell me you can't do it? That the team can't do it? You know, I don't get me started this late, but the bottom line is you're absolutely right. That is a state of delusion that they're suffering from. And it's delusion caused by the fact that you're sitting too close to the picture. You need to back up off of that or learn how to dispose of your view and learn to take other people's lenses and put them on and look through their sights and say, well, what are they seeing here? Because you can't tell me that you see Deion Sanders or Aeneas Williams or anybody in P.J. Williams. Come on now. P.J. Williams played safety for you last year, but you can't listen, the cornerback position behind the top 3 guys are deplorable. Patrick Robinson is totally inconsistent. I don't trust him to even be a dime back. The 5th guy on there, not including P.J. Williams, which they'll probably throw him out there if they have an injury. They'll throw P.J. Williams in there. They won't put Justin Harden in there, who I think P.J. is better than Justin. That's the cold part. Justin Harden is a great special team dude, but a coverage dude, he is not. He needs a lot of work as a cornerback. I'm just not comfortable with none of those guys behind CD Deuce. None of them. And you letting guys like Kirkpatrick, who sat out there forever, and all these other guys, I just don't understand. It's a state of delusion. Is only thing I can attest and attune to it, family. It's you delusional think P.J. Williams will be anything better than what he's been. Listen, family, we've seen the best of P.J. Williams. Trust me, we have. P.J. Williams is not going to turn on the switch and he's going to turn into some fantastic cornerback who can't be stopped. That's not what you're looking at here. That's not what it's going to be here. P.J. Williams is going to be whoever he's been for the last few years. He's going to be the guy that give you a few good plays and then you turn your head and he's getting his ass toasted. So he'll get an interception returning for pick 6. People say, look at PJ. And then 2 plays later, he getting burned on a deep pass. Because he's looking in the backfield, doing something he ain't got no business doing. I'm just saying, I've seen it countless times. And people get excited. They get their feelings ratcheted up to the seat because they see PJ Williams on at practice showing, oh, PJ got 3 interceptions. Did you see that? He was the player of the game at practice. And I said, uh-huh. He said, well, Q, why you not excited? Because I've seen that before, man. PJ Williams does that at practice, man. You know, it does not translate to the game. People don't understand it's a difference. I don't get, I like what it's a difference when you a practice player and an actual live game player. Because you can see Ken Crawley was doing the same thing in practice. Go back and look up the footage if you can find it. Well, Ken Crawley doing his thing in practice. Doing his thing. So was guys like him and Brandon Coleman and stuff like that. And then they get into the game environment and just melt in the pressure. The lights come on, they just forget everything. They just melt. And those type of players, God bless them, but you don't want them on your team. Because there's a block up there. You're not ready for showtime. You're not ready for when the lights come on. Like if you got a Broadway production or something you're trying to do, you're trying to put on a play, a stage play, and you got all your actors and y'all been practicing for weeks on end, and then you got an actor get up on stage and he been practicing and doing all his lines, but we get on stage and the lights turn on, the people watching, he forget his lines and mess up the whole show. You're like, man, what happened? I don't know. Man, why you didn't tell me you had stage fright? I thought I could beat it. That's a real thing, man. That's called stage fright, man. That's stage fright. A lot of people don't deal with that. And trust me, football players have stage fright too. Ken Crawley is a guy that suffers from that. He was the one he was tearing it up in camp. That's how he got the job from PJ. And then went out there and had stage fright. That's what it is. It's stage fright. Can't bounce back from it. All right, let's keep going. Who that nation is? Y'all like to hit the man. He's 30 years old. I don't think he'll be a good starter. Hold on here. Let's see. Demi says, which is why. Okay, thank you, Demi, for your comment. GM Kev says Ravens about to snatch Logan Ryan, so they're about to get up. That would be a great move by Baltimore to clear out that $10 million or whatever. You get rid of Thomas and then go after Logan Ryan and put him back there. That's how I know. See, those type of teams, they're serious about winning Super Bowls. And you can't sit up here and say they don't have no money or that they're going to use the money to pay for such and such, such and such. The Saints could still, they waited all that time. They could have got rid of Nick Easton and freed up $5 or $6 million. And then something happens to Pete, then they got to keep Nick Easton. But why at that amount of money? He's not worth $6 million. He backing up them. He's like, well, who else would you have? There are several guys on the team that play the guard position, including Hurst, Omar May, Clapp, Cameron Tom. There are several guys I literally can name. Derek Kelly II. There's several guys I can name. And Easton's not as, he ain't as great as those guys because Easton's early on in his career, he spent most of his time hurt. He spent most of his time hurt, and he was so great he wouldn't let a rookie beat him out last year. From start to finish, soon as the man got the job, it was no competition. He had it the entire time. He took it from him and ran with it. So, I mean, like I'm saying, they say, well, we're going to have to use that money, Q, that we got left, the $7-8 million, to sign Kamara. We working on the extension. I'm like, dude, listen. How much of the money that they're going to give Kamara this year, on the contract, on the books, on the cap this year? Think about it. That contract will be done in a way where he'll probably get $1 million or $2 million this year, and then the rest of it in step increases over the duration of his contract. Come on, y'all know how Mickey Mouse Newman's play this here. He got $8 million in the cap. You think you're going to give him all of it in 1 year? It don't work like that. He'll cut him for $1 or $2 million. I done seen this play before. I done seen this play. Be like, man, Q call that stuff. How Q know that? He must have a crystal ball. No, not Q done seen this stuff happen dozens of times. It's only so many dance steps you going to do if you ain't changing. If you got a 1, you got a 2-step, you got a 3-step, you got a 4-step, you got a 5-step. And then they rotate them. And sooner or later, you be like, oh, I see what you're doing. You do the 2 first, then you go to the 5, then come back to the 4. And then after the 4, you go to the 5, then back to the 3. But you just rotating the same stuff you're doing. But once I pick up on your trend, I can basically predict your movements based upon each circumstance that you're going through. And that's what we do. But yeah, when they sign Kamara, a lot of that money, like he'll get $2 million or whatever it is this year, and then the rest in step increases. Watch. That's how they do. It won't impact this year's money, is what I'm saying. But teams, if the Baltimore Ravens go after and get Logan Ryan and sign him to a contract, and after they cleared out Earl Thomas, that is a major move, letting you know that the Baltimore Ravens are serious about winning Super Bowls. Yeah, they're serious. And in teams that are serious about winning Super Bowls are adding people to their teams right now. Even the Cowgirls. The Cowgirls are showing you that they're serious about winning Super Bowls because not only did they go after Clowney, but they didn't stop there. They have a fierce defensive end in DeMarcus Lawrence, who's their version of Cam Jordan. And they needed some help on the other side. And they had a few good defensive pass rushers. They went out and got one of the best of the one of the top 5, in my opinion. Or he definitely most certainly inside of the top 10 in the NFL over the last 10 years is Everson Griffin. Then you pair him with DeMarcus Lawrence. Then you got McCoy gets hurt, and they pulled Dontarius Poe, who's a massive interior lineman from the PUP list. So it's like whatever, we handling whatever. They had Clinton Dix, they signed there from Green Bay. He was with Chicago. He comes there. He got a 1-year cheap ass deal, and then Earl Thomas is gonna go down there to Dallas. You think Dallas playing around? Dallas ain't playing around, just like the Chiefs ain't playing around. The Chiefs getting all their people lined up and their ducks in a row to build for the future because they see themselves as a dynasty. You don't sit there and watch all this stuff going on, including the Arizona Cardinals signing guys like Kirkpatrick and all this other stuff, going and sit here and say, well, we good with P.J. Williams and Patrick Robinson and Trey Hendrickson and Marcus Hunt and DeGranderson and Mario Edwards Jr. Who talks like that? Who thinks like that? Why? That is a mere state of delusion. These players are going to give us everything we need to get to the bowl. They could very well do that, bro, but we've seen that game plan before. We've seen that happen before the last 2 years, and it didn't work out. So you telling me it's going to work out this year where it didn't work out in the prior years? Smart teams don't take chances like that, especially with your quarterback on a 1-year deal. You will want to go all the way out. That includes going after people like Logan Ryan if you have to. That includes going after people like Talib. That's going after people like Clay Matthews. Whatever you got to do, because it won't cost you an arm and a leg to get talented players. You have no excuses. You got to go and get these guys because you can't play around with guys on the back that keep getting hurt. You're going to see how this shake here. Ray, who that's he race, who's still talking about free agents, the most loaded Saints team in history. The only thing they need outside corner depth. Free agents, corner depth. You talking about free agents too, Ray. You just said the only thing they need is cornerback. They loaded. Yeah, they loaded, but that ain't everywhere. You still need help at the end position. You know you do. And you still need cornerback help. So you might be loaded in certain positions, but in the defensive secondary, you know you're going to always need help. So, yeah, we still talking free agents, and you talking them too. Tragic Five says you can't be a backup cornerback without being a special team contributor on the Saints, and that's true. Some of these guys got to play, and some of them can play. True Louisiana, so I know you're right, Q. Kevin says Earl Smith about to sign with the Saints. Robert Earl Smith about to sign with the Saints, whoever the hell that is. He says all those guys are bums. Says Ray. He says Talib the only real option. True Louisiana says Tremaine Johnson better use those again interceptions for the Jets. Tack Robinson says Talib's better than Robinson for sure. Kenny Sutton says he says now I say go with Tremaine Johnson or Quib Talib. Tragic says the backup cornerbacks for the Saints have to be basically starters on special teams. They will not sign a backup. He says they will not sign a backup that doesn't play on special teams. I think a lot of if you have a guy like Talib who is or Clay Matthews that's a situational guy, I can anticipate, that they can use him. I wouldn't say he's gonna come there and say I ain't gonna play special teams. But if you're a person and you motivated, you're not coming there as a prima donna. You're gonna come in there and you're gonna work. But you also know that this is a Super Bowl year, so you come in for a bowl. So as a veteran that's in that position, you're gonna have to work with the other guys, and that's the mentality of the team. And I don't think some of those guys will have an issue. Clay Matthews playing on special teams or Aqib Talib playing on special teams. If that's what they got to do, that's what they got to do. That's just what it is. If you're here for a bowl and that's what they'll come for, I don't think they'll let special teams get in their way. I'm just gonna keep it on. I think being a guy that's wants a trophy more than that doesn't matter. In my opinion, I think the trophy is the big thing in guys' minds like that. They want a trophy. Kevin says Saints Will Jenkins more in the box. He can't run with these receivers from downfield anymore. Demi says, why isn't there news on DJ Swearinger's 36? Swearinger made a few plays, Demi, in the camp. We covered it in the show. Not too much to talk about, but he's there. Lee, who that to you, Lee, says, who will pick up Earl Thomas? Odds on Dallas Cowboys are the pick. The Baltimore Ravens, according to the rumor mill, said that they were in contact with him to trade. And whatever they wanted, Dallas didn't offer because Dallas knew they eventually would release Earl Thomas. And it's no secret that Earl Thomas, he has he played his collegiate ball at the University of Texas. Jerry Jones, wanted to get him before, and a lot of the smoking money, and this coming from NFL Network, that they believe he'll end up in Texas, and they got a need for Earl Thomas down there. So, I mean, it seems like a good match between the two. Who that nation? I don't understand why Loomis and Peyton want to fix the offense. Do they realize the defense is the reason we haven't been to the Super Bowl? And that's a part of it, man. We need, and I'm saying, listen, we talking depth in the secondary, like the brother said earlier here. Depth in the secondary is a big thing. You look at it, and you cannot just say to yourself, "Hey, man, the bottom line is we good, we straight all over the place. We don't need nobody." That's not true, man. That's not true. The secondary, we definitely need help at the cornerback position with depth. And I'm still saying it like I've been saying it, that we need another defensive end, man. We need somebody, a veteran that knows how to do it. In Ziggy Ansah, Jabal Shurd, I'm even willing to, Clay Matthews for cheap. I mean, get somebody, bro. Somebody that can help us out in that regard. We need help in that role, man. We really do. And I think that's a part of it, man. And we're gonna see, bro. We don't see if it's a state of delusion or not, but I'm just uneasy about those two positions because they've letting us down so much. So you know what I mean. So we'll see how it shake at the end of the day, man. But we'll see. Jim Kelly, I don't understand what we drafted a first round center, and he says I just don't understand. We drafted a first round center that's just starting to play center that may play guard in the meantime. Patrick Queen, who we passed in Baltimore, is getting rave reviews. I don't know, GM Kev. I don't know, man. That's a really crazy one about me. I've asked that question yesterday. A lot of people say, Q, relax, he gonna play tomorrow, and I'm like, okay. I know eventually he was gonna play the center position. That really wasn't what I was saying. I was bringing to light the fact that I was saying that if you were going to play him, you don't have a lot of time to learn what the man can do at the position that he was drafted to do. Why not put him at that position, and if he struggles, then move him? Why just play him at guard off the bat without even determining whether he can handle it or not? I just didn't understand that part of it. And you usually don't do that with first-round draft picks. They didn't do it with the Davenport, who was extremely raw when they took him out of college. Come on now. He was extremely raw. And they took him and they put him at defensive tackle or linebacker. They played him at it. It was just a really ridiculous way, in my opinion, of handling it. You take a center to the chagrin of the entire fan base who wanted a defensive player, preferably somebody that can help on the defensive side of the ball, whether it was defensive end. My pick is I wanted either a defensive end. You could have went linebacker. You could have went maybe a safety. You could have got a safety that can win, or a cornerback, perhaps. You can never have too many cornerbacks. Imagine if they would have drafted a cornerback, then we might, be able to have Chauncey Gardner. He can go to safety or whatever, however you want to do it. But a defensive player there could have made some difference on the defense because you really need it for the defense. To help. In my opinion, we could have used another pass rusher. As many pass rushers as you can get. Like how many you want to go? I want to go just like the 49ers go. Every year they drafting a defensive end. You know why? Because they know where their bread is butter. And when you play the San Francisco 49ers, you understand why they draft defensive end, because they understand that you got to always have constant pressure on the quarterback. Even when those guys get tired, you got to put guys in there that's going to put more pressure too. And that's something that we get pressure with our front two guys, but then the backups get hurt and they can't last, and you got to start using guys from other positions to apply pressure. And to me, that's problematic, But I don't know, man. I don't know why they did it like that. That was really curious for me. And let's see what made one of these reporters ask that question. You know, because it really shows you like how controlled some of these reporters are, man. You know, that's a question that the reporters should have asked Sean Payton as well, coach. And I played his interview. It's like maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear it in a way where I got to understand it. Y'all correct me in the chat. Did y'all hear any of the reporters ask Payton about why he started playing Ruiz at the guard position as opposed to the center position where he was drafted? Did any of you guys hear that? And if you did hear it, put in the chat where you heard it, what interview you heard it from, so I can play that on tomorrow's show. Okay? And let me hear, because I all the stuff I've heard, I don't have any recollection of him explaining that. All right, let's keep it going, family, in the chat. Ray Long says Hunt should do well as a backup, plus he can block field goals. Okay, thank you, Ray. Who that says, ask me, CJ, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is better than PJ. Ask me. Of course he is, huh? Kevin says, Ray, if relying on Marcus Hunt, we have some real problems. Kevin says Dallas just cleared up cap for Earl Thomas, so they must have made a call to Ozzie Newsome. They're going to sign him. That's the smart money says he's going to Dallas. He always wanted to go there. He talked about it when he left Seattle to go to Baltimore. Just didn't end up down there because of the money. You know, it's the money aspect. But he's going to Dallas, man. He toward the back end of his career. He want to finish up as a Cowboy. Kevin said, I was really surprised to see PJ and Patrick Robinson back on the team. True Louisiana says, Kevin, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed me that they're still are. Kevin says, like Al Iverson said, practice. We talking practice, man, practice. Lee says, if Deion Sanders, the defensive back, covered Deion Sanders, the receivers, who will win? I will go with Deion Sanders. The cornerback would be Deion Sanders, the wide receiver, because the fact that Deion Sanders, the cornerback, has more experience as opposed to him being a wide receiver. You know, he mastered the corner, like no other cornerback did before him, with that special finesse thing. He had the confidence, the finesse, the speed, the technique. Wasn't a guy that liked to tackle, but later on he got better with the tackle because he got that criticism. And he was in prime time was something else, man. Before he was prime time, he was Neon Deion. He was bright and flashy, and he had the lifestyle, man. It's real interesting to hear Deion Sanders, by the way, sidebar family, to him talk about that time frame when he was Neon Deion in prime time. Man, he said when he was on top of the world, he just wanted to kill himself. He said that. I don't know if you ever heard that before. He said he wanted to hurt himself. He wanted to kill himself. Like, what would make you possess you? Because, in my opinion, and we're going to get back to the same talk, it's like money's not everything. Money is a component that goes along with everything. If you got people you love and trust and you want to be with, and they give you fulfillment, and you have purpose. And I think that's a part of it. Having purpose. What's your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish in this world? And people say, I'm trying to make the world a better place. Well, don't make the world a better place. Make yourself a better person. And then you would then, by mere fact of improving yourself, you then see your world improve around you. And I think many people get lost in that concept where they got to go and save the world. Don't save the world. Worry about yourself. Save yourself and improve yourself. And then when you improve yourself, you'll see that action and that energy that you've done in improving yourself then be emanated out to others that'll see the difference in you. And that then will inspire people to follow in your transition, knowing where you come from. They might have seen you going through a struggle and you just kept a calm spirit. You stayed prayed up. Every now and again you blurted out and got upset, but relatively you stayed calm and peaceful and you were able to move through it. People watching you. They pay attention to you. They learn from you. They love you. And if anything that you can gather from that, remember that every step that you make is like a footprint or a thumbprint, and it's a map or a living picture, if you will, that's never completed until the day you transition from this world to the next world. And people are watching that photo, that beautiful picture of you, that unfinished picture of you. And they're watching where you come from to where you go. And from then, and that's the thing about people. People love people that come from adversity, and then they get somewhere and they become really successful. And people are like, wow, I love that because this person didn't let this stop them and they got up here. I wonder how they did it. And that's what you hear people talk about, and like But a lot of them athletes, they get that. And Deion was the one, he had all the money, he had all the fame, people was on his back, and he said he felt like he was wanting to kill himself, and he reached up there because you can't, it's certain stuff that you get up in the world high and it's hollow and you feel hollow inside. That's why so many of them turn to drugs and all kind of bad things to try to fill that void. But truth be told, if you feel that void and you got that sense of purpose already, whatever you then gain will be magnified, and then your life will be just that better. You know, you can't look for goodness. Like you're looking, I want to live like this person to be like Will Smith. Will Smith, I want the marriage that Will Smith had and his Jada. And I told people a long time ago, I said, man, don't believe that. That's all a big old show going on over there, and now people starting to see it. You know? So I mean, you gotta be you, keep it real, keep it trill, keep it dedicated, and work on you, baby. Work on you. Just threw that in there because Deion said that, man. I remember that, man. Deion said that, and I wasn't expecting that because he was talking about all that, and then he just came right up on that. But he wasn't. But he was the older prime time talking about it in his years, and that's when he said he found God and it changed his life. See, he found fulfillment. You know, he thought it was all about the glitz and the glamour, but then he found that fulfillment. He found his faith, and it accentuated and gave him an ability to find his purpose, and that's what it is, man. Remember, a ship without a destination is doomed to sink in a sea. You can't put a ship on the water with no destination. Sooner or later, to crash into some shit, dog, it'll sink. You got to have a destination where you're getting to, and once you get there, another one to go from there to the next level. Remember, we never stop until you transition. All right, I'm going to leave that alone. Let's keep it going. I'm going to go back to the chat. Kevin says, I just don't understand. We drafted a first-round center. Okay, I just got that. Ryan says, Saints talk late at night, and the Cowgirls mentioned, man, I'm all the way in with you, baby. Ryan Duberty, y'all. We got love for Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Locke's Royal Lion Family Revolution says, Clown and Ryan will be that real. I'm Richard Ryan Locke's Royal Lion Family Revolution. You know, that's a long tag, but I thank you for joining us. I'm with you on that. Clowney and Ryan will show me and the rest of the Saints family members like yourself that the Saints are serious about business, man. You bring Jadeveon Clowney and Logan Ryan in here, dude, you said Saints are ready for that bowl. They're serious about that bowl. Bottom line. Thank you, Adrian, for joining us. Adrian up late, joining us here as well. Ricardo, good to see you, Ricardo. He says, without good ends, our cornerbacks will get exposed. Thank you, Ricardo. Great comment, family. And that's right, bro. We got to have the ends, man. We got to have the ends. And we talked about that tirelessly here. We talked about the impact of a Jadeveon Clowney, but even if you don't get Clowney, you say he's too much, you can go get a guy like Clay Matthews who had 8 sacks last year. And people look at that and say, Q, he's 34 years old, he had 8 sacks. But you got a guy that's 20-something years old who can't play a full season who has 6 sacks. And this guy got 8 sacks in a situational role with them last year. And I'm like, man, we can use that. We can copy that. We can bring him here. And, you know, we just want him to be able to do what he did with them last year to bring those 8 sacks here. Bring those 8 sacks here. And that'll also help Davenport to stay healthy. Because remember, the purpose is to get Davenport all the way to the playoffs where we can use his production there. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to get him into the playoffs because we need that sack, or we need that sack advantage there in the playoffs to keep getting after these quarterbacks. So remember, if you won't have a good season, family, we got to put the quarterback on the ground. We got to. You can't let the quarterback stand back there. If you let Tom Brady stand back there and behind that pocket and stand back, he will cut your ass up like Drew Brees would do Tampa if they did the same thing. If Tampa Bay didn't get any pressure on Drew Brees and they let Drew stand back there in that pocket, Drew would slice their ass up 1,000 ways from Tuesday, and y'all know it. The same thing with Tom Brady. He have the same analytical mind. You give him time back there, he will slice you up. And guess what? Half the quarterbacks in the league, more than half of the quarterbacks in the league will do the same thing. They will slice your ass up. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just telling you the truth. Anyway, let's keep going here, fam. Let's keep it moving here to the next one here. Ricardo says, yeah, right, thank you for that comment, Ricardo. Jamie, who that to you, Jamie? Ricardo says, can we please trade Pete? That guy always on his you-know-what and hurt. The Saints just gave him a big lofty $57 million cuz I don't think he's going nowhere. Jamie says Clay Matthews is better than Craig Robinson. I agree, Jamie. No doubt about it. And this might be Craig's last year. Ricardo says a rookie at center and a 1-year guard at Pete, we in trouble. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way about the fact that, you have a center there and then you have McCoy. I'm not too concerned about McCoy. I'm going to keep it honest with you. I think Andrews Pete at the guard position, the Saints gave him that money. He came in 30 pounds lighter. He's a lot stronger. His injuries problems have been cumbersome, but I think he'll play through some of these injuries. He's done it before when he had the broken forearm and all that other stuff, the broken hand, all that. He plays through his injuries. So I expect him to play through the injury as he gets healthier. The McCoy move to right guard, I really like the move if they stick to it because I think McCoy can blossom into an all-pro guard. I really do. I think that he'll make a really good guard there. Filling in for Larry Warford, that's big shoes to fill, to be honest with you. To fill in for Larry Warford, because that's a guy that's coming off 3 straight Pro Bowls. He was playing at a high level. So to ask McCoy to do that is unfair. All I would ask McCoy to do at the right guard position is merely do the best you can do, and that should be good enough for McCoy. Trust me, I think McCoy will be a fantastic guard. Ruiz is going to be tough because you draft the center. You had a veteran quarterback. This guy has to be the real deal. You're asking Ruiz to play center to do a lot. You're going to ask him to get that cadence down with him and Drew. You're asking him to be the center point of that offensive line. And he's a center. He hadn't seen in the pro game before, so we don't know how he would stand up to it. But I like what I've seen him in the film. I think he can be a really good player for us for years to come. But this is a lot. This is really pivotal to have a rookie center and what could be your quarterback, your 41-year-old quarterback's final appearance. But just like when Derek Summerfield, who had the Big D, came on the show yesterday, and D was on the line, and he spoke about the fact that he said, man, Q, I think a lot of that's done. The movement's done there so we can move better when it's time to do our screens. Our screens didn't look that good last year. And he's true. Ruiz can definitely move. He has the feet to get out fast and get to that next level and make those blocks. And so does McCoy. McCoy and Ruiz have really good feet to move out and do their stuff. Andrews lost weight. So we'll see how it shakes there. So that was a really good statement I just wanted to throw there as well. Thank you for the comment there, Ricardo. Appreciate it, bro, and who that to you. Lori, good to see you in the chat. Lori, what you doing up late, girl? Lori and Adrian hanging out late. Y'all must don't have work tomorrow, do y'all? I know what it is. Ray says, does Chiquillo make the cut? He hasn't played at all in practice. And Ray, I'm concerned about that because you're right. Chiquillo hadn't been doing, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, Sean Payton don't like giving those reports. So I don't know what's going on with Chiquillo, bro. I really don't. But, that's concerning to me because he's missed every game. And they don't even talk about it. They mentioned Josh Hill has a tweak and all that. But I don't know what's going on with Chiquillo, bro. I don't know. And that's concerning. Hopefully we get something coming up soon here. Appreciate the question, Ray. Kenny says, I don't think he will, Ray. Ray says, I don't want him to make the cut. He said, I really don't want him to make the cut. You got Davis, Alex, Bond, Bradham, Robertson, Ellis, and Batchy. Okay, Javier said practice squad. Okay, Kenny said he's just missing too much time. He really is. Well, listen. Remember what happened last year? I was saying the same thing about Mario Edwards Jr. I was like, Mario Edwards Jr. missed the entire preseason, but the Saints didn't put him on the street. Mario Edwards Jr. didn't make he was still able to make the team and contribute. So maybe be one of those situations where he'll be ready just in time for the season. They keep him on the active roster like they did Mario Edwards Jr. So I'm just documenting the case that the Saints tend to do that from time to time. This guy will miss and they still keep him on the roster just to see what he can do, like they did with Edwards last year. PJ Jew, what up, PJ? How you doing, fam? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Good to see you. GM Kev says, let me see. We're going against Brady twice, Rodgers, and Mahomes. Yeah, you need pressure. These guys will slice you like tomatoes. GM Kev's right. They will. Ray Long says Ruiz is going to shut y'all up in week 1. I hope so, Ray. I hope so. True Louisiana says, yeah, McCoy looked like he got bigger put on some more weight, he's looking like a guard now. He is, I'm telling you, if you look at how he is a natural born guard, he played the center position, but his size, his skill, his strength, his athleticism, I mean, he's not going to be a Pro Bowler there, but give him a couple of years at that guard position and watch what he turns into. I'm telling you, McCoy is going to be fine at that position. And I'm telling you, the Saints, man, this offensive line, bro, is going to be fine. You know what I'm saying? Ruiz, just leave him at a center. Let him learn. Let him get the bumps and bruises. You know, we're going to be fine there. Let's just leave him right there. And we're going, and by the end of the year, the Saints will be right on course for where we need them to be. But, you know, Ruiz is a rookie, yes. But, man, I tell you, that dude, fantastic, man. I'm telling you, he's going to be a good one. All right, let's keep it going. Tack Robinson says, I compare Warford's combine numbers to Reeves and McCoy. Warford's slow as hell. Yeah, if that's the case, though, Tack, hopefully, man, McCoy can gain ground quick this year, man. Who knows? Wouldn't it be special if McCoy was named to the Pro Bowl in his first year at that guard position? That would not surprise me. Now, listen, family, I know I said that, but that would not surprise me. That's how much faith and confidence that I have in McCoy, that he can be named as an alternate as a Pro Bowl right guard. I'm just keeping it real with you. That guy has all the skills. He has the intelligence. You just leave him there and see what he can do. I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up an alternate Pro Bowl selection in his first year. In his first year at guard. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. He's good. He's really good. All right. Lee Wood said they may regret losing Warford. It could backfire on them, no doubt about it, bro. You can't ignore the fact, and I told people this the other show, you can't ignore the fact that you got a guy that's a 3-time Pro Bowler. Then everybody throw excuses about him saying he was going to retire, but that was after the fact. He still had a year left on his contract, you know. But the thing was, it wasn't. They're trying to say, the team is trying to put it like, oh, he was retiring, and Sean Payton was scared that he was going to retire. Only thing that took was a conversation between Sean Payton and Larry Warford to ask him, hey, Larry, are you going to retire? No, coach, you know, I'm going to do, whatever. I got 1 year left with the Saints, of course, and then whatever else. I don't care about what you're going to do after that year's over with. But but that's what I'm saying. The coach and him, the coach see him during the season a lot. You know, he could have had a conversation, said, Larry, can I talk to you about something? What's your plans on the future? You plan on retiring or, this upcoming year or whatever? I'm pretty sure he wasn't planning on retiring. And then people were saying the man was out of shape and all that. I'm like, bruh, he was out of shape. I said, I would love to see what this man is like in shape. He would be tearing up the league if he was out of shape and winning and going to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years. I mean, come on. That's like the man went to the Pro Bowl 3 years in a row, dude. 3 years. Whether you won't say he was an alternate or not, that don't matter. The mere fact that he was in the Pro Bowl, which is an honor given to guys playing at a high level of football at their position. And you telling me he was overweight and out of shape when he went to 3 straight Pro Bowls? I can imagine what the son of a gun looked when he in shape. So I mean, that don't have any credence here. That don't have any wings. That don't fly here. So I mean, my thing is, why would you then say, okay, he makes $7 million a year? Well, how much money are you saying that you supposed to pay for a guy that's a Pro Bowl offensive lineman 3 years in a row? How much you supposed to pay? I mean, tell me, if he making 3 straight Pro Bowls, does he not earn the $7 million? I mean, come on. You agreed on the contract of what you was going to pay him. And when he stepped up and performed and got 3 straight Pro Bowl appearances, he's earned his money. So why are they talking about we won't take his money away? But I'm telling y'all, that was all a bunch of lies. And I told y'all that, and I laid it out to you why it was a bunch of lies. It was a bunch of lies. And they'll say anything from, oh, him and Peyton didn't see eye to eye. Peyton don't see eye to eye with several players on the roster, but they still on the roster. He ain't cool with everybody on the roster. Let's keep it real with you. He's not. But if you do your job, you got a job. Bottom line, and Larry Warford obviously was doing his job. He had 3 straight Pro Bowls. And if you were going to the Pro Bowl, you earn your money. You can't take my money away from me. And I'm at a Pro Bowl level. You can't do that to me. I won't let you do it. And $7 million or $8 million, whatever it was, for a guy that was consistently going to a Pro Bowl is a steal. You and I both know that. You and I both know that. You do not take his money away when he's excelling at that level. They said, well, Q high is how he looked in the Minnesota Vikings game, Q. That's not the point. They all look terrible in the game. Why you ain't take their money away? Ryan Ramczyk, Teron Armstead, McCoy, everybody looked terrible in the Minnesota Vikings game on the offensive line. All of them did. It wasn't just Larry Warford. So why is he getting singled out where the rest of them ain't lose no money? You ain't take the rest of their money away. You ain't punish the rest of them and try to trade them. What's going on here? You know, it just was some bull crap, and they trying to saddle Larry Warford like he was the reason they lost. Because remember, this team didn't make no significant changes on those defensive and offensive lines. The same personnel is back except for Warford. Like he was the reason why they had to make a line change. Get out of here with that. But the truth of the matter is it can bite you in your ass because you trying to get a guy that doesn't used to play in the guard position to play the guard position, and you had a 3-time Pro Bowler playing at a high level there last year. All you had to do was to keep it the same and draft a defensive lineman or defensive player to help you on the defense, and you could have been doing something. But no, you wanted to change it all the way around. But then you come into the season and take the guy that you used the first round pick on because you believed in, you justified it, and now you won't play him at guard. And people say, what is he playing at guard for the first 5 days, Q? And I'm looking at him saying, I don't know why he playing at guard for the first few up there. If he's a first round draft pick, he took the first round draft pick, he's intelligent enough. When you take a player in the first round, you see him as intelligent, as fast, as complete to put a first round tag on him. When you take him in the first round, that player there is starter material. You don't then say, I'm going to draft the center to play guard. They had guards that were first-round draft pick guards sitting on the board. If you wanted a guard, why you ain't take a guard? Well, we're going to play him at guard first and then at center. You don't have time for that, bro. Put him in there and see what he can do. And if he fails, then go back to the guy that played center last year. You don't do that in reverse. You don't play the guy that you know can play center versus the guy who don't. What sense that make? You don't have time like that. Play the guy that don't know, that you don't see, and don't sit up here and tell me that Sean Payton knew he couldn't play the position. Sean Payton couldn't work him out because of the COVID-19 rules. Let's get this straight before they start lying to you about all this other stuff up in here. He couldn't see him when he wanted to because the rules wouldn't let him see him in that way. Payton seen him when you seen him. There was no side practices and secret practices and all that. That wasn't the case. He seen him, and I'm talking about he as in Peyton, seen him when you seen him. So when you seen him, Peyton seen him. So if that's the case, I don't need to see McCoy. I know McCoy could play the center position. Let me see what Ruiz could do because I don't have time to play around with that. I'm going to play him at guard. If you see him as a detriment at center, you playing him at guard ain't going to help out there. If he plays at guard, he's... The man is center, bro. We don't have time for this, man. Come on with it. All right, let's keep it going here. LaShawn, what up, LaShawn? Good to see you in the chat, baby. Good to see you in the chat. What you doing up here? What y'all doing up late, man? What's wrong with y'all? Don't y'all know it's 2 o'clock in the morning? What y'all doing up this late? Come on now, y'all. Y'all supposed to be sleeping. Come on. What y'all doing up here? Come on. Y'all sit up there with that crazy man talking about the Saints at 2 o'clock in the morning? Come on. Jamie says if the Saints really want to be in the Super Bowl, I knew someone to play for us to win. PJ says, will you be sounding alarm this season? I will be sounding the hell out of that alarm, PJ. I promise you, brother. I'm going to be sounding that alarm like you ain't never heard before, bro. A matter of fact, I'm going to see if I'm going to find several different sounding alarms and plug them and play them. And then I'm going to even have a special sound effect when Sean Payton lies, I'm going to play the sound effect. So you know. And when he's telling the truth and something I like, I'm going to play the harp sound like the angel. You know, I'm gonna bring it back. That the first couple of years of the Sports Coma, I used to use sound effects. And people loved that. I used to put the sound effects in there, the hand clapping and the stuff, the Friday when they say, damn, and all that kind of stuff. I used to put all the sound. I stopped doing it. I kind of went away from it. But I'm going to bring it back. That was fun, man. People enjoyed that, man. I'm going to do that. Thank you, PJ. All right, let's keep it going here. All right, Troll Blue, who that to you, fam? Jammin says, is rookie tight end looking good? Is the rookie tight end? Yes, he is. I like what Troutman is doing. I like how he's playing. Even Stevens look decent. Adam Troutman and Tommy Stevens, the guy they drafted as a quarterback, they converted him to a tight end, and now he's He looks pretty decent as well. So big ups to you. Thank you, Tack. Appreciate your super chat, my friend. Thank you for giving us the super chat. Tack Robinson in the building. Thank you, fam. Appreciate it. All right, let's keep it going now. Kevin says those right guards have to be fast because of the pull on the running plays and passing plays. McCoy can handle it. Trust me, he can handle it. Dancing bear, I love that term, but that's McCoy. McCoy got big hands. He can put it on you. He'll drive block you. He got a little mean streak into him too. He real intelligent. I like McCoy at guard. I really do. I really do. I can see him there fitting well. Ray Long says after cutting Wolford, the Saints became the fastest O-line in the league. Yeah, that was the thing about Wolford. He was kind of a bit of slow-footed. So I think that was the move to try to get a little faster so they can operate the screen a little bit better because they kind of was really bad at the screen last year. And I kind of say the Saints need to stop utilizing the screen so much. Be like, Q, that's their base thing. I know, but let's just stop that for a second. Let's get away from that. Let's get back into our traditional offense. Let's perfect that instead of doing all of this other stuff right now. Let's make our traditional offense work right now, and then we incorporate all that other stuff on the back end of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what's been hurting us too, offensively speaking, with all the cutesy stuff and all this other nonsense and foolishness. What's wrong with going back to the power eye or the three set formations, the three tight end packages, and then going into using the power game, bringing the ground and pound back to the New Orleans offense that has become quite flamboyant. We too flamboyant here in terms of slinging the ball all around with these offensive plays. No, let's get back to the ground and pound, and that don't mean you lose none of that. But when you start pounding the ball, that forces that safety to come down, then you can light their ass up like a Christmas tree. So I mean, the running game accentuates, it sets a tone, and I know that they wouldn't be able to stop our running game. Latavius Murray averaging 5 yards a carry. You can have Kamara lined up there as a decoy. The move. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff to accentuate. We need to focus on that a little bit more, and then it formally eventually can move that screen and all that stuff in there. But getting back to our traditional offense and our regular stuff, improving our regular packages, not so much all of the fancy razzmatazz stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, just regular basic, run the ball. You know, the basic stuff. You know, we getting a little too cute with a lot of stuff. All right, appreciate that, fam. Jamie said the Saints really want to be in the Super Bowl. Okay, I already said that. Thank you, Jamie. Let's see what else we got. Lee said, good point, Q. If Wolford's in shape, LOL. Yeah, I'm saying if he in shape. If people said, okay, it was 3 things that people told me, and they just kept making excuses up for Sean Payton, I couldn't classify it as nothing but excuses about the Larry Wolford situation. And I told y'all the other day, I said, guess what? It'll come out. Just like the Kamara situation came out, just like the Delvin Bro situation came out, just like several other situations come to light. Eventually, it will come to light of what happened with the Larry Wolford situation. Sooner or later, he'll talk about it. They'll ask him what happened, and Larry will talk about it. Trust me, it's coming. Because it don't make any sense for Larry Wolford to be off the team when he went 3 straight Pro Bowls. He didn't cuss Sean Payton out. He didn't kick him in his ass. He didn't do nothing. He didn't steal money like that dumbass Albert Keinel did from Deuce McAllister years ago. He was a perfect teammate. So how did he become the fall guy for the Minnesota Viking failure? That really was Sean Payton's doing. Sean Payton was the guy that was supposed to be, and I lambaste Sean Payton constantly. But I tried to get a lot more people on board with me to lambaste him so that he would get his game right, because he be getting away with a lot of stuff. He got away with the failure, and to many, that's why Larry Wolford's not here. He must be the reason why the Saints didn't know. Larry Wolford did just what the rest of them did. They all stunk, but all of them kept their jobs as opposed to Larry Wolford. Then they say, oh no, Q, Larry Wolford was out of shape. Okay, how you have an out of shape a guy going to the Pro Bowl every year after year? How out of shape is he? Come on, that don't make no sense. You know, and then the next thing is that him and Sean Payton didn't see eye to eye. How Payton don't see eye to eye with several guys on the team? He don't have to have a great relationship with you to be on the team. You don't have to like the coach. You got, as long as he respects y'all and y'all can do the job, then you fine. And he was doing the job, so that couldn't be an issue because he was actually performing at a high level. Then, okay, they needed his money. Then they came to the money. Okay, Q, it wasn't, okay, I'm going to keep it real. It wasn't the fact he was out of shape. It wasn't the fact that Sean Payton was mad at him. It's the fact that they just needed the money and he had $7-8 million they wanted. Okay, let's address that. If they wanted his money, which they didn't deserve to take his money because he deserved his money because he was playing at a Pro Bowl level. We've established that fact already, haven't we, family? The next thing behind it is if the Saints needed money that bad we look at two people on the offensive line they could have went to. They can went to either Larry Warford or can went to Nick Easton. Nick Easton would have freed up 6. This other guy, Larry, was 7. So you mean to tell me you would get rid of your Pro Bowl, 3-time Pro Bowl, 3 consecutive year Pro Bowl offensive lineman starter for a backup ass offensive lineman that's making $1 million less? Why don't you take his job and take the $6 million and put it where you wanted to put and leave Warford alone? That's all I'm saying. Makes sense, don't it? But people will tell you, whoa, no, Q. So everything they had to say, I just batted all that shit down. Batted it all down. They trying to make that man the fall guy. What happened in Minnesota? He wasn't the fall guy. Only one guy was the fall guy, and that's the guy with the visor on with the shaggy ass cheeks, talking mess. All right, let's keep it going, fam. It's just not hard, bro, when you think about it, man. People be coming with some stuff, bro, and that's why you got to knock all that shit down, man. You got to bat it down, you know? You just got to come with it. All right, let's keep going here. LaShawn says, up listening to you. I like listening to this crazy man. Well, I appreciate you, LaShawn. Good to see you. Thank you and appreciate it. Hope you're doing okay, too. Tuck Graph, who that to you, says, if Traquan doesn't break out this season, he's not going to break out. I don't think he breaks out this season at Tuck Graph. I'm going to keep it honest with you, fam. Because, and you say, well, why not, Q? Well, Traquan Smith is in a very crowded position. And even though the team sees Traquan Smith as, okay, you got Mike Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and then third wide receiver, some people say Traquan Smith, correct? But there's an issue. The issue is you have guys like Taysom Hill. Even though Taysom's a quarterback, he'll spend the most of his time playing on the Saints offense at the wide receiver position in the slot, which pushed Traquan Smith down. So he'll steal Traquan Smith's reps insofar as playing in that slot position. So Traquan Smith's one of his top obstacles is Taysom Hill. Okay, let's get that straight. Number 2 is Benny Fowler and another guy that is not a wide receiver who plays running back named Ty Montgomery plays his position better than he does currently. So where does Benny Fowler fit? Being that short, and remember, people say Q Fowler's nothing, just he a placeholder. He ain't nothing but a warm body in camp. That was the thought process until they went and you heard Drew Brees say, he told what Emmanuel Sanders said and what Benny Fowler said about what Drew Brees did. Drew Brees was the reason why Fowler's on the team, not Emmanuel Sanders. Drew Brees, remember Sanders went and worked out with Drew when they were in Denver. Well, they needed 2 wide receivers. Sanders asked Benny Fowler, who was a friend and former teammate who played together in years in Denver when they won the championship. So he asked him to come along to play with Drew out in Denver. So Drew's throwing the passes to Benny Fowler, he's throwing them to Emmanuel Sanders. So they became close, and Fowler made a good impression with Drew, who then told Sean Payton, I want this guy on the team. Who Sean Payton then tells Mickey Loomis, I want this guy on the team. And mysteriously, we have Benny Fowler on the team. So I say all that to say this. If Drew Brees says that he wants this guy on the team, you think he's just a camp body? No, this guy is going to play some games. But the thing is, where does he fit in the situation with Traquan Smith, which is another additive, which I say he'll peel away some of the reps from Traquan Smith. So you got Taysom Hill. You have Ty Montgomery, who is a better slot receiver because Ty is not afraid of the contact going inside. Neither is Fowler is or Taysom Hill. None of these guys have going inside the interior of the defense, running across the slot phobia. None of them have that. Taysom Hill actually loves it. He loves the contact. Benny Fowler's smart enough to run through there. Traquan Smith's not good at that. So those 3 guys, just those 3, and I could throw some more in there, like Deontay Harris can come in there and steal some plays. And like let's say for instance, they have a package where Deontay Harris is on the field. They move Deontay Harris outside out on the edge, and then slide Emmanuel Sanders to the inside because he can play inside and out. And then they have that package where Deontay Harris just goes just a streak down the field and they do a deep ball, what have you. They can have that. So several players impact Traquan Smith's ability to break out this season. I thought last year was his supreme option to break out. Plus he getting pressure from guys more talented than him behind him. And you say, who is that? Marquez Callaway is a guy who's not only about the same, is maybe about the same speed or maybe a little slower than Traquan, but he also is good at catching contested passes. He's good at going inside, and he also plays special teams, which is something Traquan Smith doesn't do. So he plays the special teams, which means he can kick return, punt return. That's something interesting. So he's getting pressure from on top, from behind, and from guys that's not even a part of his position group. He's in a tough situation this year, but I don't think he goes nowhere. This is just me. I don't think he goes nowhere. He still has a year left after this year on his contract, and I still don't think Peyton wants to get rid of him right now. If they still have faith in him, if he gets injured, who knows? But I still say Peyton loves Traquan Smith just like Dennis Allen loves Marcus Williams. And I'm thinking he's not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to keep it real with your family. So just be looking out for him, bro. But hopefully he does break out, man, because this is the year, whatever reputations the man get, bro, you need to take advantage of it. Any and everything they throw at you, you need to catch. So if they target you 40 or 30 times in one season, you need to have 30 catches. If they throw at you 40 times, you need to have 40 catches. I don't care what it is. If it's catchable, if you got to dive on the damn ground and make the catch. If it's a deep ball, make sure you put some extra to run up under it. Whatever you got to do. If they throw at you 30 times in 1 year, have 30 catches, whatever you go do, you better make sure you catch everything they throw to you. And that's just how it's going to go. But we'll see how it shakes. Thanks for the question, fam. Jammin says Fowler is the new number 3. See? I can get behind that, bro. I can get behind that. Okay, let's see. Okay, here am I. I thought I lost my position. Ray Long says Murray deserves more respect. I rewatched the Seahawks game. He had 2 carries that game. It was a blowout. Mostly he should get more carries. I agree with you. I think it's a disrespectful thing to have Murray not carrying the ball as much as he's supposed to. I think last year's sentiment of what Sean Payton did with the Saints was ridiculous, man. When he was just abusing Alvin Kamara, running him early on, ultimately got hurt. And you mean to tell me you kept Alvin Kamara out there when he couldn't even lift his legs, and you had Latavius Murray and Dwayne Washington. Now think about it. Dwayne Washington and Murray, those guys average over 4.5 to 5 yards a carry, just running. You could have had a Mike Tyson punching combination going on, hit him with Latavius, then come back with Dwayne Washington. They wouldn't know how to act with that. But they would rather have Alvin Kamara running around out there with he can't lift his legs and everything looking terrible than to put Latavius Murray in there. That says a lot, man. That says a lot. Shame on Sean Payton for doing that to that man, bro. I'm like, man, and then you a fool to sit up there and say that you 95% healthy. I mean, that just goes to show. Remember I read this? Remember I covered that with y'all? Y'all remember that time when, this was so many shows ago. We done did so many shows. I can't remember all of them, but every now and again I'm able to pick from them like the card catalog from the library. And I remember it was a show that I did when I was talking about why Alvin Kamara didn't make it at the University of Alabama. And remember I was reading from y'all from an article, and I think I shared it in the community section of the page of the site, the YouTube site, about the athletic article that reason why he didn't make it at Alabama was the fact that the way Nick Saban, and I'm gonna just tell y'all this, the way Nick Saban been winning these games, that he using a brainwashing coach to like acclimate college, high school players with his system. He basically brainwashes them. He sends them to this guy. The guy's called the Wizard. Look it up. It was in the athletic article. If you don't believe me, go look it up. The guy, the Wizard, whoever Nick Saban sends his college players to. So y'all parents out there that got football sons and all that kind of stuff, y'all and children that play sports, be mindful of what your children going into. You know, you make sure you guys kind of impress upon them the stuff that's going on, because I'm telling y'all that's a lot that they doing to them children that you don't know about. And that would explain a lot in terms of how and why they are what they are too, if you think about it. But anyway, the article basically said that this Wizard character, who's a doctor, who was able to try to condition the players a certain way, so when he finished conditioning them, they would then go back to Nick Saban and they'll be more acceptable to what he was trying to teach them. I'm telling y'all the truth. And and Alvin Kamara did not acquiesce to the training. And then the Wizard guy, whoever he was, I forgot his name, then turns around and calls Alvin Kamara and says that he called Nick Saban and told Nick Saban that this guy has the devil in him. That's what the wizard guy told Nick Saban, that he's not taking the programming. This guy has the devil in him. So he left Alabama with all that and then went to Tennessee, and he caught on that, and the rest is history. But you want to know that? Go and look that up. The reason why I bring that up is because, it's just weird, man. It's weird when you get down to the meat and potatoes of what really going on here and how they really win in them games. You be thinking Nick Saban great, and he is great as what he's doing, but he's doing stuff that you wouldn't know about. Read that athletic article and get your mind blown open. You think I'm making that up? My imagination ain't great enough to make that type of shit up. You think, well, how Nick Saban so good? He's so great. He got the keys. Nah, he using brainwashing, fam. Why else you think you won't buy all the stuff they got on television, family? I mean, it's brainwash. It's a program to program you. They call it the college program. They go there and they get programmed. I mean, there ain't no false advertisement there. But y'all want to know, y'all think I'm lying? Go look up that athletic article when it talks about Alvin Kamara and him not making it at Alabama and the reason why he didn't make it. But I'm just saying, they play with their minds, man. That's why a lot of these guys' minds are shattered and they're a little crazy, they're a little thrown off, and it's that aspect of it. But you got to retain yourself. And I said all that, and to bring it back to what Alvin Kamara, what happened when he got hurt, when he could barely move his legs last year. His confession when we played the interview: don't ever, Elvin, and I'm any player, any young player that's looking at, don't you ever let anybody tell you if you can't play, you don't play. And don't let them guilt you into playing if you're not healthy enough, because something bad can happen to you, which can affect you for the rest of your life. Don't let them do it to you. And don't you ever say that you're 95% when you're not. Don't you ever do that again. Because that is bad, that is awful, and that's terrible to do that to you, because they don't have to do that to you. That's what backups are for. That's what backups are for. So when you walking around and you can barely walk and something wrong with your legs, and be done for the rest of your life, you saying you did it for the betterment of the team move on, put the next man in there. You got to think about self-preservation. Don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever go out there and say that you 95% or 90% and you not. And you telling everybody you 95%. People say, okay, you 95%. Something else going on here, because you ain't playing the same, but you telling us you healthy. So we look at your contract and say, okay, you got 1 year left on this contract, and it's, could it be behind that? And then later on, he did get another agent, which fed into that. But then later on, when it come out, I wasn't really healthy. I could barely move my legs. So why did you tell us 90 and 95% that you was healthy? I mean, it's just like, don't do that, man. Don't be a chump and a sucker for them people like that, man. Don't do that. Don't you do that to yourself, baby. Don't make me bring Reverend Saint out here to get you, to dress you down. All right. Thank you for that. Raise, okay. Tax says we drafted in the 70s, probably going to play the Taysom Hill role eventually. I agree with you. Kevin, let's see what else we got there. Ray says Wolf was more about the future than anything else. Now you got Ruiz and McCoy on the 4th and 5th year rookie deals. I'm down with that. Thank you, Ray. Kevin says we just have to come to the realization that Ruiz is a good player, but that pick doesn't make any sense. Still don't. Won't know until everything going on. All right. Let's keep going there. Tax says we draft. Okay, I just said that. All right, Jonathan. Who that, Jonathan? What's going on, bro? Hashtag sagging cheeks, big. Shagging cheeks. He do got a sag, aka hashtag Peyton sagging cheeks. We love our coach, man. But sometimes, man, just like when you have a family member, you gotta sometimes, they do something wrong. You gotta like, man, what's wrong with you doing that? That's wrong. Javier says Peyton likes to get into one-on-one battles with certain coaches around the league. Zimmer, Williams, Shanahan, Garrett, and the Rams coach. What's the Rams coach name? McVay. There you go, McVay. True Louisiana says, yep, plus I think Stevens also played at Mississippi State as well in college before transferring to Penn State. Yeah, he was he played for Penn State, then transferred to Mississippi State, so you got it on that, True Louisiana. Tax says, yeah, I hope it doesn't have to play this year. Kevin says, yeah, I think it's a developmental guy. Ray says, do you think Dwayne Washington would get cut for Marquez Callaway for special teams? Ray is not looking good for the home team as far as Dwayne Washington is concerned. Ty Montgomery is taking his position. We know that. Ty has more experience. He's just the overall better player. He means more to the team. He can do 3 different things that Dwayne can't do. Dwayne doesn't catch the ball well. He's a good bull back, but even he was active last year. The Saints refused to use him in any meaningful game action, which was weird because the guy averaged over 5 yards a carry. You would want to get that guy on the team, but Ty Montgomery is taking his position, and I don't see the Saints keeping 4 running backs on the roster. And I was like saying, Dwayne, you should learn how to be the fullback because you can stick and stay. You could beat Burton out. You can't beat Ty Montgomery out. You know, if everybody stays healthy, there's no way he beats Montgomery out and the rest of those guys. He could have beat Burton out at fullback if he'd have made a position change, and maybe he could have played fullback, and then he can been on special teams, could do it, but it's a little too late in the game for that. So he could be an odd man out in this scenario because I don't know if I don't see them keeping 4 players at the running back position. I don't know. You know, I don't think so, but we'll see. Because Callaway, like I said, Callaway is the wide receiver. He can play inside and out, and he's a special teams guy. So that's a plus. And plus, he's a big wide receiver, and Peyton loves those guys. So it'll be interesting to see. But Washington, man, it's going to be close on him, bro. But like I said, Ty took his position, so he could be an odd man out. Tro says, hey, Tommy Stevens was the Penn State first. Okay, okay, thank you, Tro, for correcting him. Okay, Ray says, do you think DeMario is better as the Mike or Sam? I like him at the Mike, bro. I like him at the Mike, but they're trying to put Alex Anzalone there. And I think that's a mistake because Anzalone is injury prone. I hate to call him that, but it is what it is. The truth hurts. He's injury prone, and you usually don't want to put an injury prone player like that at the Mike linebacker position because of stability issues. You really want to put your most intelligent linebacker, most stable linebacker there. There's not one linebacker on this team more intelligent about the Saints defense than Demario Davis. Not one linebacker that's more respected as far as a leader goes than Demario Davis, the linebacker-wise. And there's not one linebacker on this team that has played more games at the linebacker position in the last 3 years than Demario Davis. So check, check, check. All checks, he should be the Mike linebacker. But they want to play Demario Davis there. Play Alex Anzalone at the Mike and put Mario off at the Sam position. And I just think that is not a good idea. But we'll see what happens, man. You know, I've seen that. I was like, I don't know about that. Some curious things, man. They're trying to switch it up, and we'll see how it ends to that. But I really don't like it, man. I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't like it. Alex Anzalone, I like Alex Anzalone. But, you know, the guy keeps getting hurt. You know, he hasn't done a full season. Not saying he can't do it. But you're asking a lot from a guy that's repetitively injured to play one of the defense's most active positions, the Mike linebacker. You know, you're asking a lot of him to do that. And Demario Davis is a guy that does it, that will do it better than him. And if you really, and the reason why the Saints are doing that is because they want to see what Alex Anzalone could do. Because this is the last year on his contract as well. They want to see what he can do for that position. And if he plays that position well, DeMario could be gone, you know. I mean, I'm just keeping it real because you got Zach Bowen, you got Alex Anzalone who would come back for cheap. They could start a youth movement at linebacker core. And then they're 4-3 defense, but then where do you see DeMario playing in the future if he does come back? I mean, they're going to want to put Zach Bowen. Zach Bowen's coming here, and they said that they want him to learn middle linebacker. They want to play him at all of the positions. So, you know, like I said, you know, if DeMario signs a deal, he can get the way of the development of Zach Bowen. But they've drafted Zach Bowen to come in to eventually be the guy that never leaves the field. And the Saints, even though they're a base 4-3 unit, they play a lot of modified nickels. So you're going to see a lot of 2 linebacker sets with defensive backs and all that stuff in there. 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, and the rest of defensive backs out there, that modified nickel package. So where does Demario Davis fit in that system later? If they want to see more of Zach Bowen or Alex Anzalone based on what he can do, that's the only thing that makes sense is why would you put him there knowing his injury history unless you want to see if he can play that Mike linebacker position because you see him more in the future as a player than you see Demario Davis who's getting up in age. You see what I'm saying? So the Saints are kind of grasping that thing, looking at it, and we'll see if Alex Anzalone could play. We'll see where they try to mix and fit these and patches these guys all in place. We'll see. Ray Long says Davis at the Mike and Bowen at the Sam could be deadly. Yep. Jonathan says, Big Q, why isn't anybody saying something to Anzalone about his shoulder pads? Still at practice, the same shoulder pad. Hey, bro, I tried, bro. I sit up here. We was on TSC Q&A. I showed pictures of shoulder pads several shows ago. I then showed shoulder pad pictures. Ask GM Kev and the rest of the family members. I put up pictures of Brian Cox's shoulder pads with the neck roll that had the board behind it where his head don't hit the ground. I showed Vaughn Johnson shoulder pads so big they came up to the bottom of his earlobes. You know, them guys never complained about shoulder problems. And when you have shoulder problems like he does, and you have to have several injuries, you need big shoulder pads for protection. Now, his pads are bigger, you know, they're a little bigger than most, but he needs really big pads. You know, you had more than two surgeries, you need big pads. I don't care if they make fun of you or not. I don't care. And if they say, well, Q, they don't make them no more, then you better go and order them off of Amazon. That's what he better do. He better go and see if he can find Bill Romanowski old shoulder pads and wear them. You know, he better go get the more Ricky Jacksons, man, the more Wilbur Marshalls. You know, he need the big suckers, man. That's what you need to go and find, man. You know, because seriously, you know, remember them old linebackers from back in the day? They had their shoulder pads was big. The only people that had shoulder pads bigger than the linebackers was the fullbacks. Y'all remember Tom Rathman used to run for the 49ers, how big his shoulder pads is? You remember Mike Allstott from Tampa Bay. Y'all remember how big Mike Allstott's shoulder pads was? That's all you're seeing when he was coming. He was just one big old shoulder pad machine coming at you. You know? Bro, I mean, if you can't find them, they be like, man, sir, sir, this is right out. We don't make those no more, sir. We discontinued those 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Well, I won't special order them. We can't special order them, sir. We don't have that much plastic. Okay, I'll tell you what we do. Okay, where can I get them from? Well, sir, you might want to go look on Amazon. All right, Amazon, you think they got? Oh, yes, sir. Matter of fact, we went on there yesterday because they had another player called up here asking about those supersized shoulder pads. We sent them to Amazon. They got them on Amazon. Oh, they do? Yeah, they call them the Bill Romanowskis. Well, that's what you need to do. All right, thank you. Then you get on there, order them some Bill Romanowskis. And then get them a side of neck rolls. So you got to order it like it's a fast food burger when you go to the stand. You go up, you pull up to Amazon, shoulder pad place, say, let me get the Bill Romanowskis with the Brian Cox neck roll. All right. Show you want those in red or blue. Oh, that's all. Red is fine. All right, sir. What you want those with the soft plastic, the hard plastic? The hard plastic is fine. You want them with the Road Warrior spikes? No, we don't need the Road Warrior spikes. This football, we ain't wrestling. All right, sir, pull on the head. That'd be $450 and 20 cents. And then you pull up there, you get your shoulder pads, you throw them in the trunk, and you go about your business. That easy, man. Just that simple. Anyway, man, like I said, bro, we're going to see what's going on with it. I don't know, man. I don't know, Jonathan. Great question, bro. We've been after them, bro. And it's commonsensical if you think about it. Is that if you got shoulder issues that keep happening to you, get bigger shoulder pads is a commonsensical thing to me. And you got doctors that make money, they won't even tell them that. They probably told them, they be like, oh, no, I'm going to just risk the injury. I don't want to look that stupid. They're going to make fun of me. Like, man, whatever, man. You worried about them chumps out there making fun of you as opposed to you staying healthy? Who cares if they call you Dick Butkus? Who cares if they call you Charles Haley? Who cares if they call you Wilbur Marshall? Who cares if they call you Greg Lloyd? Who cares if they call you Kevin Green? Who cares if they call you Vaughn Johnson? You know what I'm saying? Who cares if they call you Zach Taylor? Who cares? Who cares, man? You know, who cares if they call you Ken Norton? Who cares if they call you all that other nonsense, Navarro Bowman? Who cares? You know, who cares? As long as your shoulder pads are on there to stop you from getting hurt, I'm okay with that. We don't care if they call your names. You're supposed to be above that anyway. All right, thanks, Jonathan, for the question, bro. Appreciate you and who that to you. Oh, a little levity at 2:30 in the morning. What y'all doing on here? What y'all still up for? How y'all still up? Y'all must have called in from the work today. All right, Kevin said these linebackers now they want speed and lightweight. See, that's why they're getting banged up and hurt. They want to be faster and faster to collide into each other. They wonder why they're getting hurt. Man, come on, man. Y'all got to stop being fools. Ray says, do you think A.J. Klein leaving was a good thing? He was sorry and I think A.J., bro, I think A.J. did the best he can do. He was sorry in coverage. I love his attention to detail, but he was slowing the group down in terms of athletics. And I think the Saints have put an emphasis on increasing or getting the defense, the linebacker core younger and faster every year. If you look at what they've been doing drafting in an undrafted market and free agency, they've been getting faster and more athletic and more intelligent at the linebacker position over the last several seasons. They've been constantly bringing guys in. They got Demario Davis in here. They they drafted Caden Ellis. When a 7th-round pick, he developed into something nice. They got Joey Besher in here. They brought Anthony Chiquillo in from Pittsburgh, who's an athletic type as well. You know, Dowell, the undrafted guy, is in here. They like him. So, I mean, there's several talented young linebackers. Nigel Bradham is a free agent here who has a veteran but still more athletic and more complete athletically than a guy like A.J. Klein is. So you can see the Saints over time was building up the overall athletic end of the linebacker room, and I could appreciate that. So thank you for the question, bro. All right. True Louisiana said with the rollway. Yeah, man. You didn't know that, bro? You go to the store, they're going to ask you. That's an option. They're going to, because see, they don't know. They just know you got shoulder pads. The option is you want the Road Warrior spikes. You tell them, nah, listen, I don't need the Road Warrior spikes. I'm playing football. I'm not wrestling. And then they'll say, okay, we ain't going to put the spikes on there. Kevin says, if I'm quite sure if Anzalone plays right, they'll make him some shirts. I'm saying, you never know with some of these cheeky. You say, listen, man, the real plastic, man. Put the hard plastic in there. Lee says, get Buckingham shoulder pad. That's right. That's right. Lee says, all those players, all pro. I know. So that's why I would say that he don't need to worry about them making fun of him. Because you know who's going to be the one making fun of him. It's going to be Cam Jordan talking about the shoulder pads. It's going to be Cam. You know Cam, the comedian. But all those guys are all pros that I named. They fantastic. They got big shoulder pads. And they will knock you on your ass you talk about their shoulder pads. But, hey, man, I told him, bro. I told him, listen, bro, he better not have no shoulder issues this year. That's all I got to say. Trail says Earl Thomas in place of Marcus Williams. Watch. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. Dennis Allen loves Marcus Williams. Earl Thomas back there with Malcolm Jenkins would be interesting. But Earl Thomas, I think, is going to go to Dallas. And if Logan Ryan goes to Baltimore, that's something serious. That's serious. So we'll see. But family, I'd like to thank y'all for staying up with me at it's 2:30 in the morning. I know I don't really do shows that late, family. And I instead of coming in today, I just wanted to holler at y'all, man, and drop some knowledge on y'all with day number 6, camp day 6. Of course, I shall return to later on tonight on time. Will be about 5 or 6 o'clock on Monday with the regular show. Dropping day number 7 news and notes. We'll have interviews as well planned, and I give you a recap of observations from the upcoming day, plus our analyzation. Please look out later on to this morning for TSC Unleashed. We'll recap the NBA playoffs from the weekend. Talk about a little boxing as well. We cover a little boxing on the show as Dylan White got knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. He activated his rematch clause. It was pretty sweet. Had a little boxing. Sean Porter was in action as well. A little NFL news. We'll cover it all on TSC Unleashed. We'll do that tomorrow morning as well, family, close to the noon. So I appreciate y'all for joining me on the show here, family, as well as I kind of run my little commercials here. Remember, family, if you like the stream and you want to help support it, feel free to go to the Pro Shop. Links are in the description section below. You can go there and check them out. We got the new shirt, Living That Who That Life, baby. That's right, in all colors, sizes, men, women, children, all of it's available in the description section. You can get it. Also, our new shirt, Let's Get Another Chip. Who that? That's the Let's Get Another Chip shirt. And as you can look at the word chip, the I in chip is the Super Bowl trophy. I thought that was real clever by the team. That was real fire. You can see there in black, really nice and black as well. So feel free to go to the pro shop and check it out, man. As well as we also got hats. The one like I'm wearing, the Big Q drew that hat in camouflage. They got them in black. They got them in several colors. Men, women, children, all available. Several different sizes, colors, and different it's just all kind of stuff. Too much to make mention of. Family. Also, they have the face coverings, the Drew Orleans face coverings, all kind of stuff, man. We got it at the pro shop. Check it out, and and that also. And remember, like I said, family, a lot of whatever you get goes toward helping the platforms go right back into the platform as we continue to move ahead. As you can see, we kind of ratcheted up our shows and continue to do some more stuff and working on some more stuff. Got a Tough Tiger Talk that'll be coming out. We have some computer issues as well, so we use it to get more computers and stuff like that to help expedite the process, and mics and everything like that, better cameras, all that kind of stuff. It all goes back into the platform to help improve the show and keep everything moving along and rolling. Also, check out Pro Radio. PRO Radio is available. Link is in the description section below. You can listen to all of the shows in audio format. That's right. If you're at work or driving around, you want to listen to it in audio form, go to Pro Radio. That's Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma. Link is in the description section below. You can listen to The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, Pelican Post Game Report, Ring Kings Boxing, Tough Tiger Talk, all available in audio formats at Pro Radio. Also, you can feel free to do if you're like the show and you want to become a contributor or a patron of the show, you can go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. That's patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. And you can donate $1 or $5 to help the platform. It goes a long way. It also unleashes you to lock content like shows like TSC Q&A Live, which happens every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. It's a live show. A lot of people get on there. You can visually be seen. And also, you get access to locked shows and content on with the platform. So feel free to go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Link is in the description section below. All the links in this description section below. And also give a big shout out to Life Mask. GetLifeMask.com if you want to get a mask or a face covering for what's going on in today's world. You know, many places across the world, you can't even go in the grocery store without some type of face covering. If you're living in one of these areas, man, it's cumbersome, because if you don't believe in wearing that type of thing, then you have to. And sometimes, you know, it's just what it is, you know. So getlifemask.com. You can make it look stylish. You know, you can get ours from the pro shop, or you can go to our sponsors, www.getlifemask.com. And with the code The Sports Coma, all lowercase letters, you can get 10% off at the purchase. So go to getlifemask.com and breathe easy. So remember that. Also, family, thank you guys for joining me on the late edition. Of course, I didn't want to do a show without talking to the family members. And I know with the hurricane coming in, so many of the family members will probably be kind of up and about. And it's good to see you early in the morning. 2 hours and 30 minutes into... What was it? 2 hours and 40 minutes, almost 3 hours, baby. Almost 3 hours as we get into it. So I don't know if I ever did this early morning show, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. And you can see that I ain't tired. I'm probably going to go sit down somewhere and drink a little water or something, you know, and everything. But still talking to the family is fantastic, man. It's all gravy. And I appreciate y'all for staying up with me. So I thank y'all, man. Appreciate you. True Louisiana says, catch you later on YouTube streets, homie. Appreciate you. Jonathan as well. Kevin, GM Kev. Jonathan says, just got off from work, Big Q. Just wanted to touch on the cornerbacks. Knowing we need reliable backup behind Marshawn Lattimore and the Jackrabbit. I appreciate you, Jonathan. And I agree with you, bro. I said that earlier in the show. And you know that Drake Kirkpatrick, he was just signed by Arizona yesterday. That was a guy that we was interested in. So with all the injuries starting to mount, something tell me next week that the Saints going to sign one of the lesser-known cornerbacks that we covered on that report, that little list I showed. They're going to sign one or two of those guys on the roster, and it is what it is, bro. I don't know. But thank you, Raheem21 as well. And I want to tell everybody out there in the area that's dealing with the storm, please be safe, be careful, make sure you're stocked up with your supplies, your waters. Make sure you have your water and canned food and whatever you need to make it through if you have an outage or whatever. But hopefully everything will be fine. It'll get weaker. Everything will be fine. So just make sure you be prepared, and I'll talk to you guys later. So I appreciate you for hanging out with me tonight. Much love to you. Who that? Thank y'all for your support. Y'all be safe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.